Welcome to Vail, Colorado, the Burton U.S. Open Snowboarding Championship. We are about to get underway with men's halfpipe semifinals, and it is a perfect day, perfect conditions in Vail. I'm Jack Matrani, sitting alongside Snowboarder Magazine editor and snowboard expert, all-around great personality, Tom Monterosso. Tom, we saw the women take down this pipe this morning. How excited are you for what's to come next?
The dudes, 30 of the best pipe riders in the world, sunny skies, zero wind, really, really warm out there in Vail, Colorado. This is going to be a show. This, to me, is going to be a final.
Who are you looking forward to seeing? There's 30 of the best halfpipe riders in the world. The cutoff is down to 10. Who's your predictions?
3 names come to mind: Ayumu Hirano, Scotty James, Ben Ferguson.
And here's a look at the start list. Starting it off there from the junior jam, Kyotaro Tanaka. Who else do we got? Toby Miller.
Right there, number 17, Gabe Ferguson, the younger brother of Ben Ferguson.
Kent Callister, Derrick Livingston, John Scherer, Ryan Wackendorfer. I mean, honestly, every single name that you're looking at right now in front of you has what it takes to make it into this top 10. So you're used to seeing a normal, easy-going semifinal. Those days are over. This is going to be throwing everything you have on the line to make it to the top 10.
One very notable name that's absent from that list, however, is Olympic gold medalist, 3-time Olympic gold medalist, Shaun White. What's going on with Shaun, Jack?
Well, actually, I had an opportunity to catch up with Shaun White. We're going to send it down to myself. Jack, tell me a little bit about what's going on with Shaun White. Thank you, Jack. That is right. I actually am here sitting next to the 3-time Olympic gold medalist, Shaun White. Shaun, last year you won this event. What do you remember about last year?
Last year was amazing. I remember showing up and the pipe was unbelievable, and it always delivers this sunny, conditions.
Vail.
It's so nice, yeah.
It's the energy.
Pipe softens up around second run. It's really good, and I got in there and just, I don't know, had at it.
And then from that win, it just kind of kept going up and up and up all the way to Pyeongchang. Won a gold medal at Pyeongchang. How was that?
Man, unbelievable. I'm still kind of in the aftermath of the whole thing, the glow of it all. Just seeing my family there, some friends when I got home. Man, we did Aaron style right away. Now to this, it's just been this like fun kind of celebratory tour.
Yeah, what's been happening post-Olympics? Just a lot of media stuff. You had your event, Aaron style.
Yeah.
What's it been like? What's the timeline been like
for
Shaun White?
It was nuts. Basically, did everything in Korea, hung out with the family for a couple days, and then flew directly home. Yeah, it's just been a whirlwind of media and press, photo shoots, things like that. And then Aaron style was unbelievable. We had a bunch of amazing bands come through. So like, from media, it's a little hectic. Now all of a sudden I'm front row for Gucci Mane. And we're all just like,
hello, my name is Gucci Mane. That's insane.
Yeah.
What's it like to have your own event now? It's insane.
It's nuts. It's so much fun. I get to like put together all the music acts. We get the riders out there. This year we had not only snowboarding but skateboarding as well. So it's like this really fun, well-rounded thing. And every year, you know what it's like putting these things on. Just like
a lot of logistics, a lot of spreadsheets.
Exactly. but then the day of, you're like, this was all worth it. You know. So now I'm here hanging with everybody. I get to see Jake Burton, some friends. You know how much history is for this event.
Yeah, exactly. So tell me a little bit about this event. Who are you excited to see? Who's putting it down lately? Semifinals is coming up. You nervous? You excited?
You know what? I'm just here hanging and watching. I've been super tired from everything, so I'm here to support. Toby Miller, he's my buddy, my boy. He's gonna hopefully do well. But we were up there like kind of running over the runs for him, and I got like really nervous
because there's so many tricks. The level is just
so many
high
things to do, and I'm like, all right, well, you could try the 14, but I don't know, was 12 enough to get him in, and I don't want to be the guy to like
give him a safety run that doesn't. He doesn't make it. He's like, well, Shaun, you're supposed to know what you're talking about. So what is it going to take? I think they're cutting it down to 10. It sounds like it's going to take a finals run to make it through these days.
It's going to, or it's going to be one of those situations where everybody's going for those heavy runs and you can kind of sneak in with something more simplistic. But honestly, the field's really good. I think you're going to need a big run.
32.
Yeah.
So is there any reason you're not competing? Are you still just a little jet lagged from
Pyeongchang?
Oh, my goodness. Or is it just been one crazy season for you?
It's so funny. It's like, like you're on the road and you got like a mission in mind. You got to get something accomplished, and like afterward, you know, you don't have time to get sick. So I've been like fighting this cold this whole time and just kind of like coming back from that. And every time I feel a little bit better, it's just like we have to do like a early morning media all the way through the day and then do all the talk shows at night, things like that. So it's been a wild one.
Well, you've been doing such a great job at it. So now that you had a little bit of downtime.
I might snake a little bit of the finals.
A little poaching?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
That looks like so much fun. I've always been
good.
competing. I've never had the chance to just snake it.
Shaun White on the sidelines. That's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it should be cool.
My final question for you, what is next for Shaun White?
Gosh, what's next? Well, I'm here having fun doing this. Man, skateboarding is in the Olympics.
Are you going? Are you going to try to go?
I'm thinking about
Do
it, man. I love
Why wouldn't you?
I love the fact that I can be like home and skateboard. Like I went to Venice the other day and just kind of put the beanie on and was just kind of cruising around, and so much fun, man. I love skating, and I think it would be a nice compliment to my snowboarding, because you know what it's like. You snowboard and snowboard every single day, and then you need a little breather. So every time in my career, like I hit this kind of point where, you know, obviously after the Olympics, that was the big goal. I need to take a little breather, do something different to come back. But I'm definitely not finished snowboarding.
Yep, not finished
keep going
snowboarding.
On that as well.
And the body's feeling good. Have you been
feel
skating?
Great, honestly.
You ready? Tokyo 2020?
Yeah, well, I had to find out. That was funny because my people were laughing at me because right after the gold, I'm in the car texting like, so when is the skate? When are the qualies? Like, I don't know.
That's insane.
It's not like I got to get in shape. I'm already kind of, you know, feeling good. So I think I could transition. But definitely, like, man, I love snowboarding. I'm not ready to stop yet.
No, well, you've got so much on your plate. Congratulations on another incredible season. Good luck to everything in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, Shaun White, back to you, Jack.
Thanks,
Thanks, Jack. Thank you so much for catching up with Shaun White. What an incredible journey that guy's been on. 3 Olympic gold medals. Now he wants to go for another one in Tokyo on a skateboard.
Wild.
What a guy.
And, you know, knowing the athlete that Shaun is, I will not be surprised one bit if I see him in the Olympics for skateboarding.
He's not even human. He's more of just a robot. You know, he's programmed to just win every single thing that he does. What an incredible thing. And it was cool hearing his thoughts on Halfpipe. You know, he's sitting this one out on the sidelines, and he's got his young prodigy, Toby Miller. He's doing a little coaching there. He wasn't really agreeing with me that you need to throw down the finals run. He's saying there's a little more strategy, but what does he know?
Yeah, exactly, right? No, it's if I'm the rest of the field, I'm looking at Toby Miller like, this guy's like kind of being coached by Shaun.
Yeah, right?
He's for real.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, Toby Miller, he's really just skyrocketed too. You know, like before he was just this young gun, and then all of a sudden Shaun took him under his wing. He got to go to all the training sessions with him, so I'm excited to see what he throws down here at the Open.
Yep. Very cool. It's going to be awesome, man. I'm really, really excited. So let's check out the Halfpipe here. It's 22-foot super pipe. We watched the ladies rip this thing apart. Now we're going to watch the guys go to town in the super pipe. 600 feet long, set on an 18-degree slope, 66 feet wide. And, of course, as we said, 22 feet tall. If you've never stood on the deck or in the flat bottom of a 22-foot super pipe, it is humbling, to say the least, Jack.
Especially because it's not soft yet. It might get a little bit softer here, but look, this is what we're looking for. As you can see, the graphics coming in. Height. We're looking for difficulty. We're also looking for execution. Height, difficulty, execution. And then what do we have to final this thing off?
Overall impression, which is basically the feel of your top to bottom run. So they're going to judge 25 points apiece for amplitude, trick difficulty, and execution. That's a total max score of 75 trick points. The other 25 points come from overall impression. That's how high you go. Difficulty and tricks, and it's also, you know, the overall feel of your run, how long you held your grabs, how long you held your speed in the flat bottom, no speed checking, going huge. So we are going to have 30 riders. It's going to be 2 runs. Best run counts. 10 riders, 3 runs. Best run wins is actually for the final. But for the semifinals, they're going to get 2 runs apiece. So really, it puts your feet to the fire if you're one of these riders and you don't put down a good first run.
10.
Yeah,
you know, and we're coming off of an Olympic year too, which every 4 years the riding level just keeps going higher and higher and higher. And we saw in Pyeongchang some of the most insane half-pipe riding we've ever seen. And so it's only going to get crazier here at the U.S. Open. It's the most prestigious event, the longest lasting. This is the 36th annual. Perfect day, perfect conditions. There's no holding back.
It's the most prestigious event in snowboarding. You know, the Olympics is this huge mainstream extravaganza, gives snowboarding and snowboarders a lot of exposure. But if you're a tried and true blue-blooded snowboarder, you want a U.S. Open title under your belt. There's no question about that.
We're about to get underway. Nerves are starting to build as you see the Run 1 graphic pop up. Who do we got dropping in first, Tom?
This kid right here is 13 years old from Yokohama, Japan. His name is Kiyotaro Tanaka. He qualified up from the Junior Jam in the ladies field. They took the winner of the Junior Jam and put her in the semifinals. For the men's field, I don't know, maybe they took the top two because they both were like, these guys are fully worthy of riding in the semifinals. So the first two riders you're going to see are the qualifiers, the top two finishers from the Junior Jam. So 13 years old.
Don't be confused by the number on his bib. 29 here, actually 13 years old, dropping in for his semifinals debut at the Burton US Open, kicking it off with a huge, super stylish backside Indy right there. Do a perfect frontside 9.
In the backside five, he could not quite put it down. I don't know, maybe the nerves are getting to him. This is a big show for a little guy. That's what's so cool about the Open, though.
It's safe to say this is the biggest platform that Kayataro has ever competed on. You know, he's competing with his idols, so that means he wants to prove himself. He's got that young gun energy, and look at that beautiful first hit. So much style. It's nice to see the next generation really carrying the style through. So definitely got to shake off the nerves, little man, and get back up there for run number 2.
Yeah, and to mention it again, these Japanese riders, these kids are unbelievable. There's so many good snowboarders coming out of that country. All right, so he's going to throw that one out. He's going to get a second run, though. See if Kiyotaro, at 13 years old, can qualify for the finals. He would surely be one of the youngest riders in US Open history to make a halfpipe final. Let's see his run 1 score coming in, 21.8. I mean, he is.
Do you think
your
that's going to be enough to stay in first?
Ladies and gentlemen, you have a new first place.
Your new leader. As we go back up to the top, the young gun, Valentino, 12 years old. I'm really excited that they let 2 riders in from the Junior Jam. I always love to see the really young guns, you know, at their first debut at the US Open in the semifinals. Valentino guaranteed will be doing this for the next 15 years.
Yeah, this kid is such a cool kid. I'm really familiar with his riding. The magazine I work for, Snowboarder Magazine, puts on an event every year called The Launch. And it's basically we build a huge terrain park and just have a big photo and video shoot for kids, you know, rippers under the age of 21 years old. And Valentino has been invited the last couple of years. He won the Supercharger Award one year at The Launch. And his dad, Rick, is always with him. And he's such a funny dude. He's just such a
little
cool
ball of energy.
Such a cool family.
Oh!
Coming out of Australia, this kid is the real deal. Valentino Guselli starting things off with a frontside 5. There's a huge frontside 720 right there into the cab 720. And you would never know that this kid is 12 years old. Frontside 900 into the McTwist chicken wing.
Valentino. The last time I saw this kid ride, he was probably 6 years old and he could barely air out of the half pipe. Wow, so cool to see as he gets older. The style, he's killing it.
We were sitting there at the launch one year and there was a really big jump and no one had hit it yet. And we see Valentino standing at the top of the jump at 12 years old. And we're like, is Valentino gonna hit this jump right now? And then my boss, Pat Bridges, the creative director of Snowboarder Magazine, he goes, Valentino beating his chest right now? He's just standing there pounding on his chest to get himself amped up. And sure enough, he opened the session. He hit the jump, cleared it, made it fine, and then a session ensued. He's a cool kid.
Really back in the style too, and throwing that chicken wing McTwist. Shout out to Kazu, Terrier, Nicholas Mueller, Dani Davis. That trick is just one for the eyes.
Yeah, that's one of those things that's earned, not learned. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those tricks that you just have to do over and over and over. And do it right, you have to do it perfect. Valentino did it perfect right there. So 33 for his trick score. And that flow score is going to be a 12. So a 45 even. We'll get Valentino up into first place for now, bumping his Junior Jam cohort, Kiyotaro Tanaka, down to second. So drop it in next. We're going to have another Junior Jam competitor. He was the winner of the Junior Jam, 14 years old. His name is Jake Canter. His first Junior Jam win just 2 days ago, and now here he is in the halfpipe semifinals at the US Open.
You kind of see the flags in the background starting to flap. The bibs are flapping, so the wind's starting to pick up a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't affect the riding too much, especially for the young guns. It's always harder being a little lighter with the wind, but hopefully doesn't mess them up. But as you can see, they're definitely flapping a little bit, which is why you got to spin through it as he's doing right now. Oh, and unfortunately gets a little front foot heavy and not able to get that back 5 around.
He just landed a little bit in the back seat there. Jake Canter is going to throw this run away, head back up, and in about 45 minutes to an hour, he will take his second run. Those were your top 3 qualifiers from the Junior Jam. Right now, out of the 3 of them, I got to say Valentino put down the best run, but they're going to be granted a second and final run to try to make it up into that top 10, which is such a harsh cut. Literally 2/3 of this field will not make it to the big show on Saturday.
Speaking of big show, there's a big show going on social media right now. Hashtag Burton US Open. Why don't you click over to @Burton Snowboards on Instagram. Check out the second to last photo that they posted. There's a method there. We've got the conversation going. I'm actually going to start shouting some people out. @Spitzer Photo, when is your tiny person going to make an announcer couch cameo?
We'll try to get her in here. Yeah. What's up, Randy? How you doing, buddy?
T-Bird Monteroso recently just joined the dad club. It's little cute little babies here, so maybe we'll have a little guest announcer here, a little interview maybe.
She's actually up at the pipe right now with Mom.
She was just a Junior Jam, right?
Yeah.
Competing. That's right, there it is. Hashtag Burton US Open. @Devin97, what's the coolest trick you've ever seen done in the half pipe?
Dani Davis switch method.
Yep.
Honestly, I really think it is. At the US Open, without a doubt. Coolest thing I've ever seen in person. All right, here we got Cashew Hirano, older brother to Ayumu Hirano, making his way down the pipe, starting things off big old double cork front 10 into the double cork cab 1080. Little bit of a bobble there, but plenty of speed for the front 9 into the backside 5. I like that little double poke he throws in there.
Wow, oh, and just barely slips out there at the end. Was having such an incredible run. Here's another look at it right here.
Yeah, and kind of in the middle of that run there, he had a little bit of a hang up upon re-entry on one of those double corks. Landed that one very clean. Yeah, there's that switch front side double cork 1080. Didn't quite get it all the way around, but he still had plenty of speed for that front side 900.
It's nice to see him riding too. You know, he was definitely on the scene and coming in hot for a long time, and then he kind of just disappeared for a little while. I don't know where he went, but it's nice to see him back here. I mean, both him and his brother Ayumu are just incredible snowboarders.
And I've actually heard that, and this would make sense because the same can be said for Shaun White, they're incredible vert skaters.
Yep.
Really, really good, and that speaks to how good these guys are at pumping that transition, holding their speed, and going huge.
What if it was an Ayumu Shaun White skateboard battle in
You
Tokyo
literally
22?
just blew my mind.
It could happen.
That would be wild.
All the skaters are just sitting back like, get out of here, snowboarder.
I mean, hey, in the Olympics, a snowboarder won Super G.
Yeah, exactly.
On skis.
It's
that
so
was
true.
Pretty cool.
Back to the top, number 96, Brett Esser, the local boy.
Yeah, coming from right down the road in Silverthorne, Colorado. Just a couple exits down I-70. Dropping in for his first of 2 runs.
Mellow frontside 12.
Wow.
No big deal.
Wow.
Into a backside 7. Throwing down one of the more technical tricks into a switch backside 9. Cab 10 there, not sure if he got the grab. Frontside 10 into his last hit, cab 7. Gotta be happy about that run. Extremely technical, which is what the judges like to see. A lot of these runs tend to end up being the same, but it's cool to see where snowboarding has gone over the last few years, really progressing in the field of technicality.
I mean, and to start your run off with a front side 12, that is so risky. You go down on that, your run is done. Right into the backside 720, fully blind landing, and then in my opinion, the hardest way to spin in a half pipe, switch backside, getting that 900 around. So Brett Esser, really, really technical, but also blending technicality with amplitude. He was going really, really big.
Yep, Brett Esser is definitely known to go massive.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting now to see such a technical and big run where the judges are going to score this. So
I'm guessing
44.7 for his trick score. That's a good trick score right
I'm
there.
guessing 59.75. Yep, there it is. Brett Esser, your new leader for the time being. 5 riders, 25 riders to go. As the list goes on, the level goes up.
All right, dropping in next, we got Cashew Hirano from Murakami, Japan. Is he part of the Hirano clan? Are there 3 of them? Is this a takeover?
Wait a minute.
Unbelievable, 15 years old. Wow. All right, he is a goofy footer.
It looks like Ayumu.
He does. So what if Ayumu found a loophole where he can compete as 2 different people? Double his
Oh
chances
my God,
of
he
winning.
rides like Ayumu too, going huge off that first hit. A huge frontside 1080 at the young age of 15. Are you kidding me? Back-to-back
Unreal.
1080s. This run would have won the Olympics 8 years ago, which is insane.
Frontside 9 into the backside 9.
And he's got the doubles too. Are you kidding me?
You hear that crowd when he leaves the lip? They were going nuts
Screaming.
up there.
Most of the kids in the crowd the same age.
I love announcing the U.S. Open, but I really miss being up on that deck. Like,
well, maybe next year, you know, guys in the studio,
Yeah, let's
if you
get up
guys
on that deck.
just set us up at the bottom in the crowd. But
It's unlike any other event that I've ever been to. Just everybody.
so much good energy.
There's such good energy, especially on a day like this.
You know what I
Little
used to
wind,
love
sunny
too
skies.
about the U.S. Open when it was at back in Stratton back in the day. Saw all the fans on the side just slamming on the banners.
Slapping the banners of the U.S. Open pipe. That's what it's all about. The last big contest of the year. The contest that every single snowboarder wants to win, the U.S. Open. So Cashew Hirano going to throw that one out the window and look toward his second run to try to make it up into that top 10.
We just heard down from the studio. So next year they're actually going to put us in the middle of the half pipe.
I like that.
That's awesome.
Just rope us off.
Yep, that sounds great.
Very cool. All right, and we are going to head back up to the top. Another Japanese rider, Yusaki Yamagata. He's going to be dropping into the half pipe here. He is a regular footer, bib number 93.
Okay.
22 years old from Ibaraki, Japan. Just so many incredibly talented Japanese snowboarders here at the Open in the men's and the women's field, both for halfpipe and slopestyle.
Here we go, dropping in.
Yasuaki Yamagata.
Stylish little backside air to kick things off. Front 10 landed a little bit low. He's gonna have to try to make up for that. He makes his way down the gigantic behemoth super pipe.
Cab 7 into the front side 900, then the backside 5. I like his amplitude, and he
Oh,
saves the best
sick.
for last.
Front double
side
10 truck
double
driver.
10. Wow. It's the last hit of a good pipe run is always kind of a coin flip. They start running out of pipe and you're like, oh, are they going to get greedy? Are they going to run out of half pipe wall? But I think he made the right choice there. So many times you see a rider put a good run together and they eye up that last wall, run out of pipe, and just explode and their run's over. But that one worked out for the youngster from Japan. It looks like the pipe is holding up really, really well, Jack.
The pipe is in perfect condition right now.
The looker's right side is getting a little bit shaded, so that's going to stay a little more firm, whereas that looker's left side you see right there on your screen is just cooking in the sun. So keep your eye on that because that might change. We've seen it in years past at half-pipe events where one wall gets a little bit slushier and the riders have to adapt their runs in order to accommodate the changing half-pipe conditions.
There it is, right meow on the screen. A 56, so enough to get second. So the first 6 runs that we've seen right meow are not. Sorry, I blew it. I'm looking at the hashtag Burton US Open, and Nate Muson just hit us up and said, "Can you work 3 Super Trooper meows into the broadcast without calling it out?" I failed. I totally failed. That was awesome. If you guys are tuning in, join us on Burton Snowboard's Instagram page, hashtag Burton US Open. Drop a comment. We'll shout it out. You got a question, you got a joke. The webcast is all, and there it is, hashtag Burton US Open. It's all about the engagement. And back to the screen, bib number 94.
Yeah, we got Ikumi Amai.
Dropping in right meow for his first hit. Huge stalefish, goes a little bit too deep. Still holds on though, picking it up.
Huge. Landing a little flat on that front side double cork 1080.
Ouch. Fortunately not getting it around, but surfing. That just got me a little bit excited there to see Ben Ferguson's run later in the field.
Oh man, I want to see that air to fakie. I want to see that air to fakie 20 feet out.
Yep, I want to see him land his first run, qualify in the top position, and then on his second run, just surf down the half pipe.
Yeah.
Throw some gator rolls in there.
I'm really excited to see Ben's younger brother, Gabe Ferguson, too.
Yeah,
he has
that kid has so much style.
He has come so far in just a few years. He went from kind of being a middle-of-the-pack contender for a while, and then one year he came to the Open, and he had doubled his amplitude. He was going so big. He just kind of dialed in that edge control, probably from riding with Ben, because those two have some of the best board control of not just any competitor here at the US Open, of any snowboarder I know.
Yep.
They're really incredible free riders. So
exactly, it's incredible to watch them out in the backcountry, powder, anything that those two put their snowboards on, they're gonna kill it.
All right, here's one of my favorite riders to watch. You saw him in slopestyle if you tuned in. This is the young Finn, Rinna Congas.
Which you don't see a lot of. I mean, to be competing in both these days is just an incredible feat itself. I mean, it used to be back in the day that you could compete in slopestyle, head over and compete in halfpipe. Actually, one of the questions on the Burton Instagram was, why don't we see more overlap? And the answer is because the level is just so high, so you really need to focus on one thing if you want to make it to the top of one of them.
Yes, tripod into the pipe.
Oh, it's a poach session, folks.
Oh, I like it.
What?
He's got his homies with him. That's what I'm talking about. Rinna Congas.
Still throwing a really sick run right now.
Yes, he is.
Nice to see the slopestyle. Whoa!
He almost runs into Gimbal God.
This is going to be some incredible footage. I cannot wait to see. Oh, is that Nick Baden?
That
Nick Baden's a part of the track. So Nick Baden throw an alley-oop back rodeo. Oh, and a nollie front flip to close it off. Just a circus act run right there. And that is the Gimbal God right there. Some incredible footage from behind that lens.
That was my favorite run that I've seen here at the Open, slopestyle or pipe. Because really that's ultimately what it's all about. Like, this isn't to be taken too seriously. It's just snowboarding, you know? And Rinna Congas is having fun with it. He's got Nick Baden in the pipe. He's got Gimbal God chasing him in his first semifinal run.
I can't wait to watch that.
That's so cool.
You think he'll probably have it on his Instagram account in the next 15 minutes, too?
I'd say
Kid
15
pumps
seconds.
out content out like
yeah, he
other.
might be posting it right now. That was very, very cool. So Rinna Congas,
yeah, not scared of his tricks.
I don't think that's going to score very well with the judges.
What? Only a 33? Well, maybe he was thinking that if he had 2 riders, he could double up his score.
Yeah, I was going to say, what if they scored Nick Baden, added them together, and they kind of came as a package deal for the rest of the event?
I mean, that'd be a cool event.
That was really
sweeping
cool.
out all of that circusry after that run, just wiping a fresh slate. There's the Vail slip crew right there.
Yeah,
Big shout out.
That is snowboarding's equivalent of a Zamboni.
Exactly,
right there. Just
best way to put it.
Smooth the bottom of that pipe out.
And it's actually harder than it looks. I've seen a lot of the times, you know, some of these guys hook an edge. and unfortunately go down. So, you know,
Here's a question.
It's the Flying V. It's like Mighty Ducks.
Is it scientifically proven that skiers make better side slippers than snowboarders? Like, I always wonder, why isn't it snowboarders?
I think, one, it looks cooler because it looks like that Mighty Ducks Flying V.
Flying V.
And then I think it's just, yeah, they have longer, you know, what's it called? Just longer skis.
That is true.
And they've got more edges.
Yep.
Skis have 4 edges. Snowboards have 2.
And I guess all the snowboarders up there are kind of busy competing too.
Yeah. Leave it for the skiers. No disrespect. Raghu Tate.
Coming out of New Zealand, Minturn, New Zealand, 19 years old. Bib number 109. Raghu Tate getting ready to drop in the regular footer. He's going to be hitting his backside wall first.
Here he goes, dropping in, coming in hot. Oh,
huge backside air.
Backside air right there. Huge front 9 tail. Tons of control, insane style. Look at how he lands all the way back up on the top of the lip. An air to fakie, coming back in blind and switch into the cab, double cork, final hit. What does he got? Front double, going huge. And almost squats it out, but
where did this kid come from? Unbelievable. Raghu Tate just throwing it down. That was a sick run. I think that last hit, I think they're going to deduct some points out of his overall impression score for that. But that was a proper method to kick things off. Right into the front side 900 tail grab. Holding his grab almost for the entirety of the spin. And there's that backside 540. Check this out. Air to fakie.
Take a photo of that, folks. Hashtag Burton US Open. Let's see that one.
And there's that cab double cork 1080. And this is where I think they're going to shave some points off. Front side double cork 1080. Watch when he comes down right here. Just lands a little heavy on his heels. Kind of butt checks it twice, and that is going to take away from both execution and overall impression. But if he can clean that up and put that last trick down, he's going to have a contender run. That is for sure. All right, dropping in next, coming out of Mammoth Lakes, California, Joshua Bowman, 19-year-old regular footer. First time I've had the pleasure of announcing one of Joshua's runs.
Mammoth Lakes, just the mecca of freestyle snowboarding.
Yeah.
That place has spit out so many insanely good snowboarders.
It started in the early 2000s with the migration of that kind of New Jersey East
Grenade
Coast
crew.
grenade crew.
Yeah, totally. I definitely found myself there for a couple of years. Wow.
Yeah, so cool.
That was my introduction to snowboarding.
All right, here comes Joshua Bowman. Dropping in for his first of 2 runs in men's half-pipe semis.
Yeah, that was a huge front 12 right off the bat to a rocket air. Oh my goodness, going huge all the way down. Puts the brakes on after realizing how big he's going.
He is going huge.
Wow, what a run right there from the Mammoth Lakes local, Joshua Bowman.
Talk about spanning 2 different eras in snowboarding. You start off with a frontside 1260 tail grab, and then you go into a rocket air.
Yeah.
That's like a trick from 2018, and then a trick from 1989.
Yeah, exactly. Look at that. Oh,
so cool.
I don't think I've ever seen that, to be honest. Backside rocket air.
Yeah, I don't think I have either.
That was awesome. Look at the size of that frontside double cork 1080. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and then right there, right before that clip, you could tell he just kind of put on the brakes a little bit.
Yeah, which I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either.
If he wouldn't have put on the brakes coming off of the speed of that front double, he probably would have ejected and landed in the Vail parking lot on the Solaris stage.
It's and as a pipe rider, I mean, Jack, you were a amazing half-pipe rider, and you still are, but you have to kind of dance that fine line where you want to go really big, but the minute you kind of start dabbling with going too big, you're dancing with the devil there.
Yeah, exactly.
It can end really
once
badly.
you're taking too much speed, what happens is G-forces,
Yeah.
and if your legs give out, it's a really, really bad scene because your legs give out and you're going that fast. You're going to end up in a really, really bad spot.
My legs could give out when I'm getting off the chairlift at this point. I'm 36. I got a kid.
My legs
gotta
just
be
gave
careful
out watching that run.
All right, so Joshua Bowman is your new leader, 64.37.
So low scores right now. I mean, we're 11 riders in right now, and the highest score is a 64.37. What do you think's going on? Is it the wind?
I think it's the wind, but I also think the judges have to be a little bit conservative because as you get further and further down this list, I mean, you got riders like Toby Miller, Chase Josie, Ben Ferguson, Ayumu Hirano. You need, as a judge, you need to leave room to not kind of max it out too early to allow these guys who have those really, really big runs the ability to score up in the 80s and 90s.
Starting his run off there, unfortunately.
Not quite able to put it down. Jun-Sik Lee, our only Korean rider here in the field in semifinals. Really cool to see all these different countries represented. I mean, looking down the list, you got Finland, Australia, United States of America. You got a lot of Japanese riders, a couple Swiss dudes like Pat Bergener. It is definitely a mixed field out there in terms of nationality. And Jun-Sik Lee, the lone Korean rider, unfortunately not quite able to put it down. But he's going to toss that one out and go to his second run to try to make it up into that top 10. Jack, we did this for the women. What do you think that kind of cutoff number is going to be? You think it's going to be in the 70s? You think it's going to be in the 80s? I mean, they're only taking 10.
I think it's going to be high 70s.
Yeah.
Like
I was going to say low 80s.
Yeah, 78.74 would be my prediction for 10th place, to be precise.
Are you a time traveler?
Yes, I'm bulimic. I can read minds. We've already established that.
All right, so Jun-Sik Lee, that'll be it for his first run. We are going back up to the top, 30 years old right here, Marcus Mallon. I feel like I've been announcing this dude's halfpipe runs for over a decade at this point, and he's still at the top of his game.
There's his grandpa right down there at the bottom. So he drops in. This guy goes huge. I'm hoping he just does one of his 25-foot straight airs. Yep, he heard it.
Wow.
Huge frontside air and too much speed to even hold on.
That right there is what you're talking about. G-forces eventually come into play. That he was taking so much speed through that flat bottom. He didn't want to speed check. He wanted to go bigger. Unfortunately, kind of blew it out on that heel edge. Couldn't even get a second hit out of it. But Marcus Mallon, you will see him again. He will get a second run here in men's halfpipe semifinals. Don't forget, if you guys are tuning in, you want to talk to Jack, hashtag Burton US Open.
We got some people reaching out right now. At Scuta, shout out from San Diego, watching the library, killing it, boys.
Oh, thanks, man.
At CPC Amarillo, anyone wearing the new Burton step-on bindings, or could we see a TV demo by Burton Snowboards? Hashtag Burton US Open.
Actually, haven't tried them, but I've heard good
they're
things.
awesome.
Yeah,
they're
I heard
amazing.
they're awesome.
Makes it easy, you know, makes it so much easier to just click right in, step right on. I don't think that any of the riders in the competition are using them. You know, it's the first year they're out. You know, they kind of want to just, you know, figure it out, get you know, within the next couple of years. That's where the direction of snowboarding's going to go. Burton always innovating on the technology year after year. Back in Burlington, Vermont, in the Craig's factory, the laboratory, you got Doyle and JG, the rest of the genius engineers,
JG,
just pushing the envelope of what is possible. Snowboard equipment, technology. Kent Callister, the Australian.
This kid has one of my favorite methods in the pipe.
Which he made his debut at the US Open, I want to say it was 2 or 3 years ago.
Woo!
With that right there.
There it is. Right into the front side double cork 10. And then the cab double cork 10.
How did he even get the speed to do that? That was insane.
He had a little bit of a bobble on that first double cork 10. But he looks to be holding his speed just fine. I think that's going to affect him when it comes to the overall impression.
But 3 doubles
execution portion.
and a 9, that was insane. Look, here's another look. Take your cameras out and snap that photo right there.
Yeah, that is a photographer's dream right now down there in the media corral.
And
Aaron Blatt and Blotto just printing money down there right now. Bluebird Day.
And Snowboarder Magazine just came up.
There's that double crippler a la Ben Ferguson, the first rider I've ever seen do that trick in the men's field here in the pipe. So will it be enough to knock Joshua Bowman out of that first place spot? Right now, Kent needs to come in with a 64.37 or better. Kent representing Australia in the 2018 Winter Games in Pyeongchang, South Korea. Let's see what this score is going to be. I don't think it's going to be enough, unfortunately, with that first run. Little butt check there, 47.2. Wow. Joshua Bowman still in the lead, and rightly so. He was going bigger than any of the dudes we've seen
Totally.
so far today.
That run was insane. That front double might have been the biggest front double I've seen in a long time, almost 20 feet out.
And will it be the Cinderella story for Joshua Bowman? Every year there's one or two guys that are kind of unknown that sneak their way into the finals, and then boom, launch pad.
Like yesterday in the men's slopestyle semifinals,
Yeah.
Kokomo, 13 years old,
Yep.
qualifies.
And
Amongst the best.
Fridge off,
And Fridjof,
unreal.
the man with the backpack, makes it through.
Right there you're looking at Chase Blackwell dropping into the pipe. We're just about halfway through run 1 of 2 in the men's halfpipe semifinals here at the Burton U.S. Open Snowboarding Championships. We are live from Vail, Colorado, and it is prime.
Holy!
What? You have got to be kidding me.
That was the biggest backside 540 I've ever seen in halfpipe history. Can we please get a replay on that? Honestly, my jaw just dropped that entire trick.
That was ridiculous. You got to be
he's just going
kidding me with that backside
huge.
5. I don't think I've ever seen a backside 5 that big.
I can't wait to see this replay, Tom.
Usually you see straight airs that big, up near that 20-foot mark when you're talking about Ben Ferg, Dani Davis, Shaun White. But a backside 5 that big, pushing that 20-foot envelope, unreal. And unfortunately, just kind of clips the deck. You know what, though? That could have been a lot worse.
That could have been so much worse, but look at the size. I can't wait to see run number 2 from Chase Blackwell, the local
Just send
boy.
him again.
Yeah, get him back up there.
Rebate right now.
Give him 100.
That was unbelievable. Chase
22.8.
Blackwell.
Not even phased. So now we are officially halfway through our field. Run number 1, the men's halfpipe semifinals. The sun is still shining, and here is a look at our current standings. Joshua Bowman holding it down with that 64.37. The local boy Brett Esser right behind him, 59.75. So none of these scores, I'm going to go ahead and say I don't think that they're going to be in the top 10. What do you think, Tom? 64.37. I don't know. That could be more like 12th, 13th place.
Yeah, it's still too early in a semifinal. And with, you know, if it was snowing out and the pipe was running a little slow, that might change. But I mean, it's sunny, it's fast, and dudes are going huge. I mean, look at Chase Blackwell.
That backside
that
540.
backside
Throw
5.
that on
Let's
the
get
camera.
another
Thank
look
you.
at that.
Thank you.
That is ridiculous.
That thing was insane.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Jaw dropped. Had to pick it up off the floor. That was insane. So what do you think's going on here? I mean, we're halfway through and we haven't seen many landed runs. Is it the wind? Is it the pressure? I mean, we were talking to Shaun earlier, and Shaun was saying that he's like, look, it's the U.S. Open. People throw it on the line, and not a lot of people land because of that.
Well, and, you know, yesterday in women's slopestyle semifinals, run 1 was an amazing first run for all of the women, but then run 2, and this always seems to happen in semifinals at the U.S. Open, run 2, they just press the gas pedal. It happened in women's pipe, happened in men's slopestyle semifinals. So I think run 2, we're going to start seeing some of those 70s, 80s, because the riders are just getting a little bit more comfortable with the half pipe, how it's running, the vibe of the crowd. It's more electric as the contest continues on. So I think we're going to see some pretty incredible runs here coming up.
100%.
All right, dropping in now, we got Derrick Livingston kicking things off with a big old backside air right there into the frontside double cork 1080. This is going to be a cab double cork.
Huge
10.
cab double cork, traveling so far down the pipe.
Frontside 900 into the backside 5. Nice and stalled out, spun very slow.
There we
There's
go.
the frontside
Solid run.
10. So I think that's what's going to start to happen, and now we're kind of getting more into the meat of the lineup. Some of the more heavy hitters are coming up, the Ayumu Hiranos, the Scotty Jameses, the Gabe Ferguson. So once that level starts getting pushed, the contest progresses so fast, and before you know it, unfortunately for Josh Bowman, he's sitting on a 64.37. I just don't see that being a top 10 run right now.
Just crazy because he's been in first for so long. He's got to really just appreciate this time right now, being in first place at the U.S. Open semis for this long. It's got to be cool.
Will he be in first place after Derrick Livingston's run? We don't know.
He should just screenshot it and throw it up on the hashtag Burton US Open and be like, look, I'm in first.
That's a resume builder right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Put that on the
current resume.
All right, so Derrick Livingston putting together a burner. Good run from the young Canadian. Let's see where the judges score this. All right, so your max trick score is a 75. He's coming in at a 49.2, almost a 50. That's pretty good. 67.1. Derrick Livingston is your new leader. Joshua Bowman gets bumped down to second. Brett Esser, the local boy, will stay in third for right now as we head back up to the top. One of my personal favorites, not just in the half pipe too, just all around snowboarders, Gabe Ferguson. This kid is awesome.
I'm hoping that Derrick Livingston just set a trend right there for a bunch of awesome runs to come.
I think that's what happened. That might be one of the watershed moments here.
Someone had to do it.
All right, so Gabe Ferguson getting ready to drop in. Cranking down those binding straps. Ollie, the sign. There it is. I like that. I wonder if that was spontaneous or planned. Look at the edge control on that heel edge.
Such good style off the first two hits. Into the technical tricks. Double Michael Chuck. Air to fakie and unfortunately pops a little too hard. Puts him in the flat bottom and is unable to hold on. Was having such a sick run all the way from the top, olling over the fence. Gabe's also one of my favorite people to watch poach as well. Last year was killing it on the poach train.
What's so funny about Gabe too is his riding is explosive and spontaneous and incredible. But then you chill with him and he's just the mellowest dude.
Yeah,
like how Ben. He is on a snowboard is so different than how he is just
in real life.
Hanging out.
Yeah, it's crazy. Same with his older brother, Ben. I mean, you watch him ride and it's just seriously like he's getting in the ring with a bull.
Yeah, they just have a switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're just harvesting their energy all the time off the hill. They're just like, and then boom!
And they just release it on the half pipe.
That's smart. I'm going to try to do that.
Oh, what a bummer. Gabe Ferg not quite able to put it down. I think he just landed a little bit too low there on that air to fakie, and he knows it. That's all right. We're going to see him again before the end of this broadcast. Gabe Ferguson is going to stay in 11th. We are getting ready for another Japanese rider, Iko Anai. Coming out of Moriguchi, Japan, 20 years old. Regular footer. Dropping in for run one here in men's halfpipe semifinals.
I just love these Japanese rider style, man. They're just, all the way back, going back into the old days with Kazu, really just setting the Japanese style trend. And really just been carrying through with Ayumu and all these Japanese riders. They just throw down.
Yeah, when
suck up into a little ball.
When Kazu first hit the scene, it was like 2002. He was like 14 or 15 years old. He made finals. He got second place at that age. I mean, he just kind of became a legend that day.
Yep,
and I can see that being not just a watershed moment in U.S. Open history, but also for younger Japanese riders, all of a sudden being like, whoa, if I go to the U.S. Open and I do well, I can make it. It's a platform for professional snowboarders. So many amazing snowboarders have come through the U.S. Open and still compete in it to this day. And I think that's why you're seeing so many countries represented here on the start sheet.
Kind of trying to think if there's any snowboarder that didn't come up through the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I mean, you even look at someone like Pat Moore, right? Backcountry filmer, filmed for the Vans movie, multi-time top 10 rider of the year. He won the Junior Jam.
What was that, 15 years ago?
Jake Blauvelt, same thing.
Jake Blauvelt.
Snowmobile, heli access, snowboarding, one of the best powder riders on earth. He won U.S. Open slopestyle.
So much history here, folks.
Very cool. All right, so here we go. 18 years old from Carlsbad, California. You saw Shaun White talking about this kid, saying he is the next big thing. That's a heavy claim coming from Shaun White. This is Toby Miller. This kid's got 1260s. He's got double cork 10s. He has a huge bag of tricks that he can unleash. He recently learned the YOLO flip on Vail bat at the Dew Tour. Here comes
he's
Toby
going
Miller.
really, really fast. Holy moly, humongous front side 10 double.
Wow.
Linking it with the cab 10 double. Front side 9 going 50 feet down the pipe. Stylish backside 5, last hit. And the front double 14 does not hold back, does not listen to Shaun. Throws it all on the line on that last hit.
But you know what? That was the right call.
Almost had
That's
it,
what
yeah.
he needed to do,
I
because
couldn't
if
agree
Toby
more.
had put that down, that's your new leader.
Exactly.
So if he can put that down, I truly think that is a top 10 run. That was the most high-flying, spectacular run that we've seen today. And you can tell that Toby's been riding with Shaun. You can tell. Just he's going so much bigger. He's traveling so much further down the pipe. He's really, really improved in the last 2 seasons.
And I think both of them really like pushing each other in
Yeah.
different ways. You know, the young gun probably pushing Shaun with his young, just spontaneous energy and always being down to get in the pipe and try new tricks and have fun. And I'm sure Shaun thrived off of that, while Toby just thrived off of the level of riding that Shaun has achieved.
Frontside double cork 14. Unfortunately, Toby cannot swing that thing all the way around. He's gonna have to throw that run out. So Toby's score coming in 53.2 right now. That'll be good for 5th place. We are gonna get ready for Raghu Katayama, 27 years old. He's won the X Games gold in the half pipe before. He's been doing this for a very long time. From Matayumasi, Japan. This guy goes so big. There is Raghu Katayama.
Raghu Katayama, you saw him at the top of the half pipe over in Pyeongchang as the coach.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he's ridden in many U.S. Opens.
God, starting
What?
it off with a perfect flat frontside 1440. Are you kidding me? Into a cab 10.
This is the Japanese
What?
half pipe team's coach.
Are you kidding me right now?
Wow.
I thought he was done. He was like, you know what? I'm done, but if it's the U.S. Open, I'm down to come back and show you guys.
Dust off the old boots.
What? And a cab 12? What a run. Are you kidding me? Raghu
That
Katayama.
was insane.
Spinning like a top the whole way down. I'm sure the entire Japanese team right now just gained so much respect for their coach.
They're just sitting there at the top, just like, still got it.
Still got it.
He's
Yeah.
still in it.
Now we'll listen to you.
There's that cab 1080 right there.
That's insane. You know, to just take a back seat and start coaching and then to still have it like this. That run was insane. Cap 12 at the end.
Big old backside 5. Yeah, one of Ryo's trademark traits is he travels so far down the pipe. Check out this frontside 1080 tail grab. And then here it is, the cab 1260. Not the cleanest landing here. Didn't get the grab, so that's going to hurt him. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's going to be enough to advance him to the finals in the long term. But for right now, he will take it 57.2. That'll be good for 4th place for Raghu Katayama. So now we are getting into some heavy hitters. This kid right here, Jan Scherer, the young Swiss phenom, riding for Nitro, getting ready to drop into the pipe. You saw him in Pyeongchang in South Korea. Here he is in Vail, Colorado, at every snowboarder's favorite event, the U.S. Open. And this really is the big show, Jack. This is
the big
half
show.
pipe. I mean, this slope style is huge, but it was later added to the U.S. Open. From day one, this contest has been about half-pipe snowboarding, and really is the culmination of an incredible contest season, and it just draws the best riders in the world. Jon Scherer wants to get up into that top 10 so he can ride on Saturday. Are you kidding me? Frontside double cork 1080.
Huge gap 10. Super sick style on that frontside 9, poking out that melon. A huge backside 9, a trick that is hard to go that big on. Having an insane run right there.
Wow.
Look out, Derrick Livingston. We might have just seen Jan take over the leaderboard. What a run. Going huge.
Yeah, what a way to start a run. A double overhead, double cork 10 from Jan Scherer. And there's something to be said too with throwing a really hard trick as the first trick in your pipe run. When you land that clean and you're riding through the flat bottom, your confidence just doubled. You're gonna go bigger, you're gonna go faster, and it kind of just unlocks the entire run for the guy. And he's like, okay, now it's game on.
Let's send.
Big
Look
old
at the size of that backside 9.
insane. 15 plus feet out, down toward the bottom of the pipe. And then he caps off a remarkable run with this front side 1080 tail grab. Holding that grab for a nice long time. I think the judges are going to reward him handsomely for this as we wait for Jan Scherer's score to come in. Coached by legendary pipe rider Giacomo Crotter.
The Italian stallion.
The Italian stallion competed in the 2000 Salt Lake Olympics representing Italy. Judges are taking a minute to deliberate, which makes me think this is going to be a pretty big score here for Jan Scherer. Are you looking at your new leader? We will find out right now. 53 for a trick score, and that does it. 71. Jan Scherer is your new leader, bumping Derrick Livingston and Joshua Bowman down a notch. So 71.
Welcome to the 70s
is
club.
the new bar.
21 riders in, our first rider to earn a 71.
Yeah, first guy with a 7.
Now watch this entire. Now watch the entire top 10 shift from here on out.
And that's what I kind of think is going to happen from here on out, and even moving into run 2. The bar has just been raised again. First by Chase Blackwell, then Derrick Livingston, now Jan Scherer. Here you're looking at Ryan Walkendorfer up at the top of the pipe, getting ready to drop in. Can he build on this momentum here in run 1 of men's half-pipe semifinals at the U.S. Open?
And then switch for a huge cap double. Flipping fast there. Looks like he was almost going for triple. Oh, the front double. Unfortunately sits it down. An easy trick for Ryan, just unfortunately sneaking away from him.
Yeah, I mean, looking down this list of riders still to drop, we've got 2 Olympians here in Chase Josie and Pat Bergner. And then Raghu Katayama, another Olympian, Jake Pates, and then, of course, Ben Ferguson, Scotty James, and Ayumu Hirano. So that right there could literally almost wipe out the entire top 10 that we have if they can all put down the run that they want to. So it's about to switch up here. Stick with us. It's going to get fun.
It's going to get fun, man. And got to give it out for Ryan Walkendorfer. This is actually his first event since his broken arm injury. So he's just got to be happy to be up there snowboarding. He's been on the sidelines all season watching all of his buddies.
He made a super quick recovery, though, too.
He did.
Yeah.
Whack Attack is number 1.
There he is.
The Whack Attack. One of the longest last names in the field. Look at how long his last name is. It almost goes into his first name on the start list.
12 letters.
How did you count that so fast? 12-letter last name.
I'm a grammar guy.
Yeah, he's a writer.
Yep.
Editor, Snowboarder Magazine, Tom Monterosso.
That's why they pay me the big bucks, buddy.
You could count letters.
All right, there you're looking at Nato Ando from Takasaki, Japan, 20 years old. Regular footer. So only 2 goofy footers left to drop in the entirety of run 1. This guy, not one of them. Left foot forward.
I just got word, too. It sounds like we might have a snowboard legend joining us in a little bit. Dani Davis, who's not competing today, might be sitting in here with us. Just wanted to chat with him. Starting off with a solid air to fakie. Stylish cap 1080 to back that up.
big old frontside 540 into a backside 540. Into a frontside 1080.
Holy, huge cab, 10 double. And a front 9 and puts it down. What a run.
Insane run there from Naito Ando. Look at that air to fakie, grabbing melon, heel edge with his leading hand.
Respectable way to start your run. Coming back into the pipe all the way blind. One of the more stylish tricks you can do with that air to fakie. And then, you know, he started his run just kind of cruising, a little mellow, really style-based, and then he just went and dropped some hammers here, bumping up his technical score with tricks like this right here. Sorry, the next trick, sorry. Frontside 10 tail, puts it down clean.
Yeah, it's funny to think that the frontside 10 tail isn't even really like a staple trick in snowboarding anymore. Now it's like a double cork 1080.
To win the Olympics, yeah, now it's like a setup trick. It's insane.
So the question is, will that be enough to get up into the top 10? Right now, Cashew Hirano currently sitting on a first run score of 48 in 10th place. That will not be enough for Naito Ando. I'm sorry, it will. 62.3. I was looking at his trick score, so he's going to bump up into 4th place right now as we get ready for Chase Josie. Now, Chase is one of those riders that has literally a double cork on every single hit of his run if he wants it.
One of the hardest tricks you can do in a half pipe is switch double Michael Chuck. It's one of the coolest things to see. Chase linking up the switch double crippler into the switch double Michael Chuck, cab 10 double, front 10 double. I mean, I get so dizzy, Tom.
I would too.
That's a lot of flips and spins.
I get dizzy if I stand up too fast, let alone double cork 6 times in a 22-foot super pipe.
Well, let's see if he's going to be doubling down the entire pipe or if he's going to hold back a little bit with what he's been watching. There's been, oh, see, there you go, taking a little page out of Gabe Ferguson's book, one of his best friends.
Gabe's a trendsetter.
There we go, starting off.
Frontside double cork 10.
Nice, and technical switch crippler into a switch method. One of the most technical riders, just as good as he is switch, as he is regular. And holds on to that cab 10 double to the frontside 9. Into the double Michael Chuck, Chase Josie. What a run right there.
That run literally had it all. From a switch method to a double Michael Chuck.
That was like the perfect US Open run right there. So much style, so much creativity, and so insanely technical.
So there's that frontside double cork 1080, grabbing stalefish. Heel edge with your trailing hand. Into the switch crippler. This is the moneymaker right here for me. Switch method. That was proper. Always appreciated. Switch method into a switch frontside double cork 10 truck driver.
And look at this one. Look where he grabs. How does he manage to get his hand in between his legs on a frontside 9? I mean, he must do some yoga. I don't even think I could do that on a straight air. That was an insanely challenging, difficult grab right there on that frontside 9. Let's see what the judges have to say about that.
This is going to be huge.
Massive, massive trick score. This might break into the 80s. And it does, 81.7. Chase Josie definitely just secures himself a spot into the top 10 on Saturday.
Absolutely deserving of that 81.7. That run literally had it all. It was almost the perfect semifinal half-pipe run for him to put down. It even had a sign ollie.
Yep.
Which right there, that's an age-old tradition in resort riding. If you're a snowboarder and you have an ollie to slow sign, or like me, caught your nose and violently ragdolled while trying to ollie a slow sign, try that. Give it a try.
I will say the ski patrol really has picked up on people ollieing over the slow sign.
Yeah, they don't like it.
They don't like it. They don't really like that. But, you know, inside the gates, it's all good.
Yeah. All right, so here we got Pat Bergner coming out of Switzerland. Amazing snowboarder and
musician.
Very talented musician. Yeah.
Let's
See if he can get up into that top 10. This is his first run.
Holy amplitude, going huge on that front 10 double. Like he was 20 feet out and only going bigger. Frontside 9 there. To a sick backside 3 nose, so much style, pulls it off perfectly. Switch backside 9. Insanely technical, and then a cab 7, so a nice and smooth, gigantic and technical run from Pat Bergener. That is how you start off the U.S. Open competition.
Yeah, that run was insane. Again, much like Chase Josie's, it had it all. From a backside 3
answers back
to a double cork. So I think Pat Bergener maybe took a look at Chase Josie's score and said, all right, I know how the judges are scoring this. So Pat Bergener putting it down on run 1. There's that front side 900. Yeah, that backside 360 nose grab. Looks simple, but is actually very, very technical. Highly consequential as well, because if you clip the deck of that half pipe upon your re-entry, it is not going to be pretty. So Pat Bergener blending technicality, amplitude, fluidity, and style. 57.3.
This is looking good. I'm saying 76.4.
And it's a 76.4. You called it again.
I need to hit the lottery.
Pat Bergener just bumped up into second place. Not enough to unseat Chase Josie from first place, but a great run from Pat Bergener nonetheless.
Trying to get our Saturday final here at the U.S. Open. Pat Bergener signing some autographs down there.
All right, heading back up to the top of the pipe. We're going to take a look at Raghu Katayama from Yaizu, Japan, 22 years old. This kid is capable of entering the stratosphere on his first hit. He goes absolutely gigantic. And ladies and gentlemen,
somebody, yeah, who goes gigantic. Who do we got, T-Bird?
We got a very special guest here, Mr. Dani Davis. Dan, man, what's happening, dude?
Howdy, folks.
How are you?
Danny, you brought the incense for us.
Yeah, I wanted to give you guys a little something. Raibu's one of my favorites, so I want to make sure we
just really vibing it out here.
Really vibe it
What do you
out
think of
here
the set,
for
man? It's very zened out this year.
I feel
centered?
super relaxed.
I mean, we're on a day bed.
Yeah,
This
we're
is-
on a day bed right now. Just get cozy.
Yeah, we got pillows.
Ladies and gentlemen, get cozy with us. We're here. Semifinals men's is going down. Who do we got, T-Bird?
Kind of hard to get comfortable.
This is Raghu Katayama. Danny, what do you know about this kid? If you could say one thing about his snowboarding, what would you say?
Dude, Raibu's one of those guys who shows up to the half pipe, boom, and goes big no matter what the half pipe's like. I mean, you know, with tricks like that, it's really easy for him to put anything together in any half pipe, let alone a perfect one, except he bobbles there. And
See, that's the commentator's curse, man. You just
sorry, Raibu, you got
him too much love, dude.
He's got a next one though. He's a consistent kid, really good. There you go.
That's what you would do, right? Like you fall middle of your run, you're like, I'm just gonna throw a front double 12,
Yeah.
just to finish it off.
I usually do that when I fall. I definitely like to throw down a double 12.
Look at the size of that method right there.
Dude. And this kid, he's you know, part of the Japanese squad that is just crushing.
They're so
right now.
good.
I mean, they're incredible. They're
They
really
just go
good,
huge.
and they're not. Like I said, they show up to any half pipe and kill it. It could be squiggly, icy,
Yeah.
slushy, and they just
Blizzard out. They just go for it.
So,
they're,
Dan, man, what have you been up to?
animals.
What's
I've been-
new, dude?
I've been on the healing train. I hurt my knee about 6 weeks ago, so this is my third day back on snow.
No way.
And it is gorgeous here, and
Yeah,
it's
it's
been
nice.
super fun. Vail's got a really fun, like, small mini park with all these berms, and I'm sure you guys have been ripping, or you've just been
Yeah.
sitting in here.
Well, we actually was able to ride earlier this week, and then we had Carlos Garcia Knight, who actually hurt himself in the mini park.
no,
He tore his AC
that's how he
joint.
did that.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
like clipped a flag or
He
something.
clipped a
and-
flag, unfortunately, and so the mini park can be equally as dangerous as
Dude.
the big course.
Oh yeah.
Many times more than we hurt ourselves in the smaller things.
What's it like being on the sidelines here, a fan
A
of the US
fan,
Open?
a participant,
fan participant.
Yeah, I'm on the side of the half pipe, dude. I got like
You got hitting the banners,
yeah,
signs. You got the
yeah.
Yeti thing up in the air.
And
Enjoying
you know,
it?
I'm supposed to be up on the side of the half pipe for Jake's run, but then you hit me up. So I got a huge Jake flag. I take my shirt off. His face is painted on my chest.
Oh,
I don't
cool.
I don't want to bust it out in
Oh,
here. but-
there it is. He's also olling over the Red Bull sign. Jake has had an incredible season this year, really making a name for himself. Made the Olympic team with runs like this. Double Michael Chuck into the front double 10. Cab double 10. Looking good so far. Super stylish front tripler there. Into the backside 9, which you know will be a double back 12.
Yeah.
And that
in
was
finals.
like his qualifying run.
Yep.
Like
I
he's
think
got like
so.
crazy back 12s and more doubles that he can unveil. So I think he's just trying to put a score on the board, get up into that top 10, and then save it for the big show on
Smart
Saturday.
move.
Yeah.
Smart move.
Yeah, Dan, talk about like when you're in a half pipe semifinal, you only get 2 runs as opposed to in the final, you get 3 runs. What's like the mentality shift there?
I'd say it's harder than ever to be like, okay, how much do I need to do? It's same with the slopestyle guys.
Yeah.
What do I need to put into this run? How crazy do I have to get?
Yeah.
And I think Jake, like, that's a really good rendition, right? He's got some doubles. He's got some stylier, slower spinning tricks. So that's
Which is kind of insane to say like that's a safety run.
right.
Yeah.
Double
Yeah.
Michael Chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Front
But
dubs,
I mean,
crazy.
you know, you're seeing double 12s now in qualifiers a lot more. You're seeing heavy qualifiers. You know, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
yesterday's slopestyle there was guys doing, you know, 2 12s in their runs, not making it to finals. I mean,
Totally.
it's a hard game to play when you go in there. You want to put one down. You don't want to fall both runs, so you
Yeah.
want to lay one down. But you know, Jake I think that was the right call right there, 75-2.
And what do you think's going on?
third.
Like, it looks a little windy out there right now. I mean, we've already got 27 riders to go, or that have already gone, and we're still in the 70s right now. There's not a lot of landed runs.
Well, and I
Is it
think the
nerves?
judges
Is it-
have been holding back a tad. You know, they know
Yeah.
there's a lot of heavy hitters like
Speaking
Ferg,
of
one of
what?
my faves.
Benjamin
Yes.
Ferguson.
Benjamin.
Yes.
Giving him all that he deserves on the first name.
Benjamin.
He's been jamming this season too,
Yeah.
man. Really killing it. Popping over the Red Bull sign right there.
He's a high energy rider.
Yeah, low energy off the hill, high energy in the pipe. Oh, massive, massive air to fakie into the cab 10.
He's not afraid to chuck in qualies. You know, this will be similar to his run in finals, but you know, like Ferg will probably do this in finals as well. It's a worthy run.
Oh,
Mickey.
switch
Oh,
Mickey.
Catching just perfect tranny.
And
Yeah.
he does it, Ben Ferguson.
Yes.
I mean, definitely.
I can't call scores like you can. I don't have the number game going right now, but
Yeah, man, that's how you started off. Look at the size of this air to fakie. Dan, why is an air to fakie almost just as hard as some of these tricks?
Man, it's hard to be super steezy in the air and not move. You know, Ferg even, you know, had a small flail on the first hit, but air to fakie is just one of those beautiful tricks. The judges respect it.
Stay still.
It's you can't pop off the lip. I mean, a lot of these tricks are hard and challenging too. Double crippler, cab double, back three
Back
is
three's
another one
tough
of those
one.
tricks that's like, it's hard to keep it smooth and slow in the air and look great. So the judges like to see that, and it's just, we like to do those tricks,
Yeah.
man. Those are
And
the
you
fun
guys-
ones.
You guys actually have a really similar run. These are a lot of the tricks that you've been doing this season too. The switch McTwist, the backside 3. I mean, are
Great
you-
minds think alike, Jack.
I'm glad to hear that. I wasn't sure if you guys were still friends after, or who was doing them first, because
You know what, man? We all
we all get along.
we all feed off each other, you know? Like,
It's a good person to feed off. Both of you guys, some of the, I would say the
Boom.
top 2 leaders of style. And here we go, 53.7. Okay.
Oh.
So
oh. Okay. You know, he's in there.
73.8.
He's in there. You know, I think that's a good spot to be
that's
sitting.
right. There's only 2 riders left to
Exactly.
go. Scotty James, Ayumu Hirano, and that'll be the end of run 1. So we still have 30 more runs to go after that for run number 2.
Okay, we're just run number 1. I kind of just
Yes,
been
Dan.
shredding this morning, and I caught the
Welcome to
beginning.
Vail.
I'm so sorry.
Welcome back to
It's
Earth. Dark.
gorgeous out there. Scotty James.
Scotty
One of my
James.
faves right now in the half pipe, man.
Scotty's got that backside 12, that kind of double cork back 12 that looks like a back 9. Like
Yeah.
he does it so easily.
Or like a back 10 double off of a jump. You know?
Yeah.
It looks very
Yeah.
like it's straight off of a kicker.
But the reason it looks so easy is because he goes so big when he does it. Like he's got plenty of time to get it around.
He's
It's
got to
pretty
go extra big because he's
incredible.
extra tall. He's one of the tallest guys in here, which actually is really fun to watch.
Especially when the wind's going. That's tough. You're like a sail. You know?
This giant sail. Dropping it with ton of speed. Super stylish backside 3 into the switch backside 9. You'd think it's regular. Does it so easy. Huge cab 10 double, brings it back around a regular. Taking a page out of Scotty Lego's book. Frontside 9 nose grab into the back 12 double. How you doing?
Man.
See you later. Scotty James puts down an insane run.
He's
That
really,
That ought to do it.
insane.
Dude, he's
consistent,
really
huh?
on it lately. I mean, consistency all
Yeah.
year. And he's one of those riders. He could be a slopestyle rider. You know, all those tricks he does in the half pipe, he learned them on jumps. He's one of those guys who doesn't use the airbags as much. He's
Yeah.
more of like, he learns them on the jumps and brings them into the half pipe.
And he's been, you can tell he's been riding a lot with James Jackson, you know,
Yeah.
the Red Bull performance coach right there. And I think that's almost more of like a mental thing for Scotty, you know, like just get him mentally strong because physically the dude can do anything.
Yeah.
He's so
And
talented.
he's always
one of
rocking
the
those
most-
boxing gloves, so physically I wouldn't get in his way.
no,
The
no,
Australian
I wouldn't either.
knock you out.
Yeah, see,
Lights
I
out.
don't know many people more comfortable in the air than Scotty.
Yeah.
Like he looks,
He's also,
he never looks flaily, never looks like he's gonna end up on his head. He's always got it right back to his feet.
He's also got an incredible girlfriend, Ivy, just ton of personality. She's actually going to be joining the live stream over the next couple days
Very cool.
with Red Bull TV.
It's
So
gonna be a big score.
Wow,
Oh, that's huge.
64.7 for a
86.7.
trick score.
almost enters the 90 realm.
That's a great score.
Scotty James.
And I didn't catch Chase's run. Did he do all the dubs that
He
does?
didn't actually.
No,
he
he
actually
kept it
like
mellow.
kind of blended
Okay.
a little bit of both. Like he had
Switch
a back,
cripplers.
yeah,
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it
couple
was cool to
different
watch.
double corks, but then some more mellow stuff. So I think that was just kind of his feel the judges out, see where they're scoring stuff, get up in the top 10 and adjust from there.
And here's the monster, the mini monster.
The silent
The
killer.
mini monster. He
That's
is though,
He's
man.
got
Like
so many nicknames.
he's so incredible. He's an animal in the half pipe.
He
He's
is.
a true animal.
Yeah.
Also, just an incredible skater, too. Somebody that just knows transition is Ayumu Hirano. Hopefully, he's listening to us in his headphones right now. Ayumu, if you can hear me, please go for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics in skateboarding. I would love to watch that.
Yeah, what did Todd
You
Richards
versus-
call his first hit backside air? Like a dive bomb indie or something? Like it's
gosh.
what it looks like. He just falls out of the sky.
And see you later. Oh, my
What?
goodness. Squeaks back in there. 20-foot plus backside air to kick things off. Into the huge back-to-back doubles. I mean, this is just Ayumu just cruising right now.
Yeah.
This is like, hey, you know what?
Standard.
I'm just going to, I'm kind of skipping that last hit there a little
I
bit.
mean, he
but
He
kind
didn't
of
have room.
He
yeah,
kind
I
of
think
ran
that
out
was
of
smart.
pipe. He was
Yeah.
going
Could have
too
ended
big.
up in the parking lot.
Dude, he's one of those riders who is just
Look
like
at the size of this.
everything he does between the walls. You know, that's really
Right.
what makes Ayumu as the rider he is. Like he doesn't his edge. You know, he's not
Super
ditching
smooth.
speed. He's not scrubbing. His line is like, lip to lip in the half pipe. It's really
He
clean.
seems like one of those riders that when he drops in, like everyone in the rider tent kind of stops talking and just watches his
Oh,
run.
yeah.
You know, like they just want to see what he's going to do.
Yeah, you know everything's gonna be 15 feet plus. You know?
I mean, how hard is it to keep that kind of edge control when you land all the way through the next hit?
It's really hard when you land too low, and that's one thing he does really well, lands super high up on the tranny, and that's how you can set your line and take as much speed into the next hit. Like you said, he's kind of just a transition master
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah. And he's still so young. I mean, he's
Yeah.
19 years old.
Yeah, but he's a mature soul, it seems
Yeah.
like up there.
Very
He's
wise.
pretty stone-faced all the time, you know? He's
Yeah.
really, you don't get much out of him.
I remember the first time, I think he was probably like 13 years old, I introduced myself to him. He's like, hello, I'm Ayumu. I was like, whoa! You're like
So
a man in a
not
little
gonna
kid's
get the score that
body.
Scotty's got.
An 80.
That's good.
Wow. An 80 will definitely, you know, that's what we're saying. 80s, high 70s, that's what we think is going to be enough. And that's going to do it for run number 1 here of the Burton U.S. Open Snowboarding Championships men's semifinals half pipe. What an incredible start to the day. Here's a current look at your standings right now. Scotty James throwing punches, 86.7. Chase Josie right behind him. So much technicality in his run. Ayumu, Pat Bergener. I mean, look at the difference in score there. Scotty James, 86, and then 10th, and a 60.
Wow.
So a lot of unlanded runs, and we've been seeing it all week. Run 2 is really where it is all going down.
I mean, yeah, I'm excited to see some of those junior jam kids, like Valentino. I think Valentino can do it. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back from Vail, Colorado at the Burton US Open. We got Dani Davis in studio. Come back.
Much of weather report from this trip would be rain, fog, crust, ice, slush, sun, cold, warm, pow, wind. That pretty much sums up the whole trip in terms of weather.
I've seen you looking through wide open windows. Everyone knows you can see. Move through a window that's closed. Under your gaze, everything's changing.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Just out of focus.
I do helicopters, like where they drop you off in a helicopter. Usually I come through here and like come in here and like hit it. You know, it would be sick to ollie to pivot and then kick in. Back here. Get back. I want to pivot on that.
Oh, this?
Yeah. Skateboarding is maximum effort, minimum pleasure. It hurt my wing a little. And with snowboarding, it's minimal effort for maximum pleasure.
To the studio, Vail, Colorado, Burton US Open Snowboarding Championships. We just finished up run 1 in the men's halfpipe semifinals, and we've got so much incredible riding to go and incredible humans to introduce. Dani Davis, someone that we wish was up there in the studio or in the halfpipe, but we're lucky to have you in the studio.
Yes, thank you.
What do you think of run 1?
It was great. I caught kind of the end.
Yep.
I was up ripping the slopes, but I caught kind of the end, and I'm going to sit down and watch run 2 because it sounds like there's some people who can make some changes in the top 10 there.
For sure.
And really change some things around.
We've seen it so far in every single competition that we've witnessed so far. Run 2, run 1s have kind of been a little bit shaken off the nerves, and then run 2 has completely reshaped the top 10.
Yeah,
it will,
for sure.
for sure.
And we kind of saw everything, you know, in run 1. I mean, for example, we saw Renee Congas had kind of like the embodiment of what the U.S. Open is all about in his run.
Check this out.
So Renee's dropping in here, if you missed this, and then all of a sudden Nick Baden just appears out of nowhere, and then Gimbal God is filming them. So Renee is taking his actual official first run with Baden just tailing him. Like this wouldn't happen at any other event. This is what makes the U.S. Open
you'd
so
be
cool.
kicked out.
Yeah, you would for sure.
And he got and he almost kills Gimbal God. I can't wait to see this footage.
Oh my God.
Like a circus.
Loose. That's one of the looser contest runs I've ever seen.
It's so
But
rad.
beautiful.
So rad.
Watch this last hit. Watch this
Orchestrated
non-front flip.
chaos.
Ready? Boing.
Dude, and that's something you don't get at any other event.
Yeah.
That's something that's really fun for us at the Open, you know, and this is our contest, it feels like. you know?
Exactly, yeah. It's like the one thing that we still control. With a lot of the other contests is like mainstream media blowout. This is like kind of our thing that we got to nurture.
The
Yeah,
culture that
exactly.
breeds the community that snowboarding has. It's right here. It's going down this week, and I'm hoping that this weather stays like it is. It's a beautiful day in Vail, Colorado, and when it's sunny out and that pipe gets perfect, we see snowboarding keep progressing to the levels that Could even think possible.
I mean, perfect example is your leader, Scotty James. Like his run, I mean, we got to say that Scotty's got to be one of the favorites to win this event after seeing his run 1 here. Let's check it out. Scotty James starting things off with a backside 3.
Switchback 9, bigger than I could ever do a backside 9 regular. That was insane.
And like you said, Danny, he's just so comfortable when he leaves the ground.
His switch game is really on right now too. I mean, you know, switch backside 9 to just throw that in your run and have it be your second hit trick. That's way up on the half pipe. I mean, it's very worthy, and it's not a low switchback 9 at the end of the run squeezed in. It's mid-run boosty, so he's ripping.
Yeah, like Jack was saying, risk equals reward. Like the harder tricks you try to start off your run, the more risky they are. So you're going to be rewarded.
And
by
the
the
more
judges.
creative.
Yeah.
You know, you're not seeing a lot of back 3 switchback 9s out there.
You were actually saying that you wanted to put a run together for Scotty.
I do.
Have you put some thought into it?
Dude,
He's got so many tricks.
You know, he's got a whole bag, and I
it's
think
a puzzle.
at a contest like this, like the Open, where it could be springy conditions, you get 3 runs in finals, I think he can have a lot of fun and really put together something. Start it with the switchback double 10 or 12.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
what
like,
he was saying last night.
you know,
that he
give
wanted
us
to do that.
give us a new look, and I think he, you know, he owes it to us. He owes it to himself.
Yeah, he owes it to
He's
us
got a
for
sick
sure.
run.
He owes it to us for
He's
sure.
got the
Actually,
ability.
did sit down to dinner with him last night over a nice giant lamb shank, which obviously has been fueling his progress today.
It just sounds so Australian.
Right?
Well,
I was
for
like,
a
let
lamb
me guess, you're gonna order the lamb shank. It's like, oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, man. Little
yeah,
shank.
man.
This is kind of a little shank here, number 29.
this is the young shank, young. Oh man, Kaio Toro Tanaka, 13 years old. Sorry, I pronounced that wrong. Tanaka. We got the hashtag Burton US Open. Join us. You go to Burton Snowboards on Instagram. Check out that method photo. Drop your comment in there. Join the conversation as we get back. Run 2.
Mini-man. Method. Fatty Method. How old is this guy?
13.
13 years old.
13 years old.
Front
Danny, did you
nine.
ever ride in the junior jam?
You know, man, I did. I went I went to the U.S. Open when I was 14 years old. So,
Just missed it.
and I would have never been making semifinals. Back then we had qualifiers and pre-qualifiers, qualifiers, semifinals,
Oh, nice.
finals.
Give it up for little man.
And but that's something the Open. That's another thing that's rare to the contest. You know, bringing the kids into a professional level contest, having them open it up with the junior jam.
Well, Jack and I were talking earlier in the show, like, I don't even think I can think of a pro snowboarder alive that hasn't competed in the Open at one point. Like, Jake Blauvelt has won slopestyle. Pat Moore won junior jam half pipe. You know, like, you literally think of anybody.
Everyone.
They've probably competed in the Open at some point.
100%.
It's launched so many careers, which is so cool.
And even way back then, I mean, there's guys that we work with at Burton that make our snowboards who were racing in the Open in you know, the 80s and stuff like that. So it's
and it was so cool to have Donna on here talking about. She's obviously been to every single one of the U.S. Opens. It's 36th annual this
Yeah, we were
year.
like, how many Opens have you been to? She's like, 36.
Yeah, exactly.
Every single one. And then she was saying, like, the first year at Suicide 6, the start gate, they just flipped over a picnic table and like kind of buried it so you could use the handles to pull
those
off.
stories, man.
And then to see what it is now, like it's wild.
It's before half pipe was even thought of.
Yeah.
Insane.
Well,
Good
I
job
wish
right
I could have
there.
been in here for those stories. Donna's.
She's so cool, man. She's
so
so
cool.
fun. Yeah,
Big
I could
shout
have
out, Jake
had
and
her in
Donna.
here all weekend in the booth.
Danny, what do you know about Valentino?
Yeah, we met Valentino years ago. Jack was with me. He was in New Zealand with us. He's an Australian surfer, skater, and snowboarder, but just all around, literally probably the happiest kid in semifinals
And
right
the
now.
flowiest hair. I think you and him got a battle for the nicest
Oh,
hair.
dude,
I think
he's way cooler than I could ever be.
I don't know. I think
Come
he's using
on,
that
man.
Paul Mitchell drop. Look at how big he is. He's got such good style too. What's up?
Well, he kind of, in the last like 2 years, he's kind of like grown into his style a little
Yeah,
bit too. Like it's
100%.
evolved as he's gotten a little bit taller and he generates more speed, goes bigger.
Throwing big tricks like that. I mean, Dan, do you remember when we first met this kid in New Zealand? He was barely airing out.
Yeah, and like T-Bird kind of said, like you start to grow out of your little kid style and you start to grow into like what your style is as a snowboarder. And Val was so small that he had little kid style for so long, and it's rad to see that busting out of that.
Like, and it's happened with other kids like Red and Brock and even like Luke Winkleman. You go from like, and Judd Hankes, you go from like, oh, it's the token little guy. He's at every event. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, no, that's Valentino?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Heck
Like,
yeah.
he's like become a snowboarder.
And
it's pretty cool.
in a quick amount of time, this kid has really, like, he was, like Jack said, when we met him, front 3, cab 3, maybe getting out of the half pipe, to now doing front 10s, you know, in the middle of his run, and unfortunately taking a spill. But he's got a lot of years ahead of him.
He's 12 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
12 years old. What grade is
Insane.
that?
I don't even
And
know.
he told me he got second in the junior jam.
Yeah. So that's how he made it through. He got second in the junior
Okay.
jam here.
Yeah,
on
for the
Tuesday.
men, they took the
They
top
took top
3.
Ah, that's
Or top 3,
another
sorry.
beautiful thing about the Open.
It's cool.
That's
And it's
rad.
funny, too, because when you're 12, you're like, oh, they must be really nervous. But then you kind of think about it, you're like, they're
They
probably
got nothing
not.
to lose.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
they're like a
the
12-year-old
biggest deal
kid.
in the world to
It's
ride
the
next-
stoke.
Yeah.
you're
It's
like
the
riding with-
organic. You don't even know what's going on. You don't
Yeah.
even know that you should be nervous. You're
Yeah.
just so excited. Jake Canter, I met this kid
Yes, you
yesterday.
can. Don't say that.
Awesome little ripper.
Yeah,
I know,
this kid's
got
really good.
style for days.
Awesome.
He won the junior jam. He
Yep.
was the winner. Valentino got second. Kiyotaro Tanaka got third. You saw him go as the first rider
He's
in
got
the second
some, like,
heat.
really like in control style. Like you could tell that he's really gonna be one of those guys like Scotty James and Ayumu that just have incredible edge control.
I was
very
going to say,
dominant
like,
style.
he kind of reminds me like Jake Patesy, like very in control
Yeah.
when he's in the air.
He's a big Mark McMorris fan.
Who
And,
isn't at this
you
point?
know,
That
I
kid's
mean,
the
I am.
best.
I know that,
He's hot.
you know, again, that's one of
Earlier.
that's one of the more controlled people in the air. You know, Mark is very, very controlled in the air, and like you can see this kid derives his style from some solid boarders.
Definitely.
Nice
Yeah, you
little
guys got
slash. Pipe softening up, as you can see there.
Jack, what if kids want to ask Dani Davis a question, maybe, for Dani
That's
to
a great
answer
question.
on air?
They
Yeah.
you can use the hashtag Burton US Open at any time, but right now we are funneling questions through Burton Snowboard's Instagram account on that second to last photo that they posted of a method. We've got 57 comments. Let's break them out.
A lot of funneling at the Open.
Okay, at Jenny Evo, I want to know what's Danny's fave trick to watch. X.
Ooh, I'm really loving the back threes, the
Yeah.
switch method. Some of the ladies are busting into the switch backside airs, and I
Yeah,
mean,
Mirabelle Tovex.
dude,
Back 7,
that was
switch back
insane.
3. That was
the smaller,
first
you know,
run.
I mean, the smaller spinning tricks, the prettier ones. I love watching those, but you know, the challenging tricks, the 12s, the doubles, those are a beauty to watch too, and almost confuse me sometimes. I'm like, how do they do it? How does
Yeah.
Scotty James do a switchback double 12 in that half pipe? So
Well, I guess the question I have too is like, how do you learn that? Like, you've never done that before, and you're
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm going for it right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, that's
like,
a scary
what is
trick. You're
that
coming
like?
around blind. You don't
That's
even see.
wild.
All of a sudden, you're back on the ground. That's a scary one for sure.
yeah, and the half pipe's got a small margin for error.
Yeah.
You can be in the flat bottom pretty quick, and on the deck.
Yeah, you learned that
Really quick.
earlier this year, unfortunately, which is why
Yes,
you're
sir.
not competing. I mean, you can look on the internet and Google Danny's fall from the Mammoth Grand Prix. It is one of
It's
the
worth a look.
It's one of the scariest falls I've ever seen. We were all worried, and to come out of that fall with only a sprained MCL is kind of miraculous.
Thank you.
I guess it's because you're made out of metal after all these years, huh?
Yeah, I got away, lucky on that one. I think there was a lot of different things that were
was
hurting after
scary.
that, but this kid, another one of the Hirano crew.
So there's 3 Haranos.
Yeah, there's
in this.
Yeah.
3 now.
Yeah.
Kaishu
Yeah,
is going to drop in a little bit. This is Aiju, and then there's, of course, Ayumu.
another good.
What
all
are they
good
feeding
skaters.
those kids?
You know, I think it's a strict diet of rice.
White rice, fish,
I-
seaweed, the deliciousness
Oh,
of ramen.
oh,
Just sneaks himself back in there.
But that's all right. He's gonna put it together now. Here. Oh, bam.
Yeah, just a frontside double cork 10 into a cab double cork 10.
I mean, when you have your brother as the, one of the better half pipe riders around, you're gonna learn some stuff. A flat front 10 to end it off.
He had trouble with that on run 1, so puts it down.
So right now he's sitting in 16th place. Is that going to get up into the top 10?
I think it could right now. It's will it hold?
Yeah.
And I think one thing that's tough on the judging side is when you do 3 10s in your run and 2 of them are front side.
Yeah.
One's double
Exactly.
and one's flat. That to me, that's not my favorite way to put together a run. We've seen your front double 10. We don't need to see the flat 10. And so I think if maybe somebody else is adding something different in there.
So you're pretty akin to putting together like unique runs. How does that all start? Is it do you see other riders and be like, oh, that'd be kind of cool to link into this? Or are you just kind of like sitting there daydreaming, like envisioning like what would be really fun to do?
Yeah, I think it's a little combo of both, and I think too the judges play into it. You know, you come to these contests to be a competitor, so you want to put together a run. But for me, I just see a lot of people with front 10, cab 10. That's why it's beautiful to see Ferg doing that air to fakie into a cab 10, something different. Just because, you know, you got to figure these judges are sitting there watching it. That bumps him into 13th, and that's not enough.
Right outside the top 10.
But you know, you really want to put something that's fun to watch for other people, because that's really what we're trying to do.
And you probably want to do something that's fun and pleasing to you too, because you're traveling around doing like dozens of these a year, so you don't want to be doing the same thing over and over if it's not fun.
It's easy to get locked into a run that you do. Okay, I got my qualifying run, I got my finals runs, and those are the ones I do.
Yeah.
It's hard to be one of those riders who switches it up at a lot of contests.
Yeah, but that's what makes it so fun and exciting to watch.
For sure. And the guys who get creative, like Brett here, with some switch maneuvers we're going to see.
Yeah, Brett, I think, has one of the most technical runs in the field today. Whoa, sending it almost to dead flat on that frontside 12.
He has that trick so dialed, too. I mean, that was definitely not, that was unlike him, you know, to take that first hit to the flat bottom like that. But
yeah, and it looks like, you know, this always happens in the afternoon in a lot of pipe events, is one wall might warm up a little bit. The other one's in the shade. It gets a little bit faster. So how much like adjusting are you doing as the contest goes on?
I mean, you know, from practice was probably, you know, we're getting into probably the hour and a half ago range, you know. The pipe was firm. I took a couple runs this morning, and the pipe was solid, and now you're starting to see it soften up, and we like that, but you still have that shady wall that is rock solid. So you gotta play your cards right, and it's a beautiful half pipe out there, though, man. These guys are stoked, and they'll be going big, and Saturday's going to be a really killer event to watch, and Qualies is lining up to be a good one.
All right, so Brett Esser will stay in 11th. Unfortunately, you will not see him in finals. This is what kind of gets to be a little bit of a bummer in second runs. You got to say bye to dudes like Brett Esser. You know,
it's like The Bachelor we were saying, you know? It's like you get this emotional connection to all these riders, and then
he was so close to getting a rose.
I know. That's what they need to award these guys, roses. You know, it's International Women's Day today.
Thank you for all the women in the world.
So it's 1910.
It wouldn't be a great world without you.
Way too much testosterone.
Wouldn't even be a world without you.
No.
Yeah, it would be bad.
None of us would exist.
No.
That's crazy.
I didn't even think of it like that.
All right, here we got Cashew Hirano, the youngest of the Hirano clan here. Up and comer on the pipe scene, starting things off with a huge backside air. Couple riders getting a little flaily on that looker's left wall there.
That wall can start to fade a little bit and get it a little undervert.
Yeah.
So you get, you know, with that sun. So you got to be weary of that.
I talked to Elena. She unfortunately went.
Yo.
Yeah.
That was actually
your fault a little bit.
Dude, again, the Japanese are really good, man. They have such good awareness that he actually handled that really good. He caught some tranny, kind of come back in.
You almost get to the point where you watch a fall like that, and I kind of look to the start sheet, and I'm like, oh, he's only 15.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's good.
He's still made of rubber. That was insane. He just kind of like went, what just happened? Are you kidding me? Whereas, like, I don't know, if I would have done that, I probably would be out for the rest of my life.
Yeah, he had a good one going, too. A little flail up top, but then he kind of pulled it together here. Not getting the solidest grab on that.
Danny, I know you're a big music fan as well, and what I love about the U.S. Open is it's a celebration of all that snowboarding embodies, the music, the art. They're supporting all sustainability and just everything. What kind of music you've been listening to? Have you been able to go out in the town of Vail, see some of the shows?
Absolutely. Shakedown's the spot.
Shakedown.
That's where we've been going.
Very
It's been
cool.
good.
That was fun last night.
We saw some really good music the other night, and there's more to come. And I think what's cool too is like Jake, again, bringing Jake and Donna back. They're huge music fans. They know good music, so it's a lot of good music.
Damian Marley
here.
coming up. Pigeons playing ping pong. We played Friendly Gathering last year.
Well, music and snowboarding are so connected.
Yeah.
You'd be hard pressed to find a single rider up there that doesn't have like a specific playlist they're listening to as they're riding. You know, everyone does it, so it just makes sense. You watch incredible snowboarding all day, go get some food, get a couple drinks, and go out in the town of Vail and watch some incredible music.
Yeah, Pacifico and get front row.
All right, here we got Yasuaki Yamagata. Another Japanese rider, 22 years
Blast
old.
off. Gigantic first hit.
Dude. Another
Popping the
jack in the
lenses out.
box right there.
Oh, that may, you know, I say that frontside wall's fading gets a little
Yeah, when
bit,
it's
but
soft, you
so
do
you
get
just
to-
really can't
yeah.
leave early, and that I think he just took off a tad early, and that's
I mean, that's what's crazy as you watch. I mean, there's really no room for error at all. Where you take off, how you take off. I mean, there's so much that goes into this. It's insane.
some tedious kind of work goes into half pipe riding. You know, a lot of these kids are talented enough to do the tricks, but it's who edge to edge is really the best.
And that's so hard to do, not to pop early.
You know, and
It's
he
crazy.
didn't really come off that early. That just
And like you were saying, Dan, though,
That's
like
22
when you
feet.
say it kind of becomes undervert, you're saying that it flattens out almost a little
yeah,
bit.
the sun just starts to hit it
Yeah.
now at this time of day, and it just gets softer and softer and fades
Sink in a
back
little
just
bit.
enough. But all these guys know that, and
Yeah.
they should be preparing for that.
And
in
it's
their
no
runs.
fault of the shapers. This is just like Mother Nature. It's sunny. It's warm.
It's a good
insane
half pipe.
Yeah,
There's
it's an
no doubt about
amazing
that.
half pipe.
And we like when it softens up like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that fall, if he would have
If
done
was
that
really
on
here
the
today,
icy wall.
oh man,
Yikes.
very true.
Look at this slip crew. That's a solid. That's what
The
the
flying
skis are
V?
good for. That's some of the best use of skiing I've seen in a little while.
I
We were
mean,
just saying that earlier.
You got to
actually.
commend the flying V. I mean, it really is the most powerful structure
Started
that
in
can
the,
be formed by
the
man.
Mighty Ducks.
Is a triangle. you know.
Exactly. Powerful.
Ducks fly together, man. But what an incredible day for a semifinal. I mean, it does feel like a final right now. And I think that top 10 is going to switch up. There are a couple names that are not up in that top 10. How about Raghu Katayama?
Oh yeah, did you see Ryo's
That was
run?
insane.
And so I heard
The
he was
coach.
going to drop in. I can't wait to watch his next run because
He's been
he's the
coaching.
coach.
He kind
Yeah.
of disappeared.
And-
I was like, oh, he's definitely done snowboarding.
But I talked to him earlier in the season, and he was like, I'm coming back.
Cool.
Yeah, that's
But
what
I
they-
didn't know it was going to be
Yeah.
this year here at the Open. So that's
what an event to come back.
a pretty
to.
rad move on his part.
All right, coming out of Nagano, Japan, we got Ikumi Imai, currently sitting in 27th place with a first run score when he fell of a 19.62. So he's got a lot of improving to do, but I think this is one of those kids that can be one of those sleepers that kind of sneaks up into the top 10 if he can put down the run that he knows he can.
A lot of Japanese riders in this semifinal, man. They're all rippers. Oh!
What? That was a massive frontside air into a backside 540. And then the frontside double cork 1080. So a good blend of old and new there.
Yeah, you got a little late start on that thing. Didn't get the snap. I think that you need on those cab 10s.
Danny, when you were a kid going to the U.S. Open, who were some of your favorite riders to watch?
At the time, you know, I was coming up when it was Dan Cass, Keir Dillon, Ross Powers, Andy Finch was always the guy just sending it.
Finch Airlines.
I remember,
Finch Airlines.
I think at the first Open I went to, it was Xaver Hoffman maybe did like a front 12 or
Cab.
Yeah.
cab 12.
Yeah.
And like, not that I necessarily was huge fan of, I didn't even really know him, but like a lot of those guys, you know, the Grenade crew was a solid crew coming up, and then just, you know, seeing like, I remember seeing like Roman and Gigi and some of them at the event. They weren't
Yeah.
riding in the, you know, in the contest, but just to see those guys who are filming and stuff was really an eye shot.
I mean, to think about the broad reach of the U.S. Open, Travis Rice has won the U.S. Open rail jam before.
yeah,
That is
that's right.
crazy to
Yep.
think about, you know, like
US
it is
Open
such an
rail jam.
all-inclusive event in over the span of, 36
Like you
years.
said, every rider has made their debuts at the U.S. Open.
Wild.
Speaking of, we got some social media shout-outs. If you're just tuning in, you can join the conversation. Hashtag Burton US Open. Find us on funneling questions through that second to last photo on the Burton Snowboards Instagram account. We got some questions for you, Danny.
Let's hear it.
Let's see. Where did it go? Oh, here we go. At Hunter Shonnery. I want to know, how does Dani Davis like to snowboard in Vermont? Because I live in Vermont, and it would be cool to see what he says. And I've always wanted to meet him.
Well, love Stowe. Since it's near Burlington, love Burlington.
Oh, let's get back to that answer as soon as we get through this run right here.
Full
This
on
one
party
is for
run.
snowboarding right here. Look at the style.
This is just a party in the half.
So I see Nick Baden, I see Gimbal God, I see our featured rider Renee Rinna Congas right there. This is officially basically
Who's
his
being
pipe
judged?
run.
How is
The
that trick right
switch,
there?
I don't know
What is
it
that? What are those?
It's I don't see anybody else doing that trick, so that's pretty awesome.
It is a full-on party in the half pipe right now.
I think it's smart. You know, like every competition is all about innovating and being creative. And so why put up one score when you can put up 3? So let's.
Gotta be a good flow score.
It's gonna be huge. He's stoked. He actually just had a really good run too.
Gimbal God legitimately aired
Yeah.
while filming.
There was almost a collision or 2 in there.
That was unbelievable. That right there is Nick Baden.
See ya. How you doing?
You'll see him in slopestyle finals tomorrow on the
Just
men's
squeaked
side.
in there. That's right.
One of my faves. One of my faves. And Renee, man, again, one of those riders, just the happiest
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah.
One of those vibe
Doing it
guys
for
at
the
the
right
top.
reasons.
He's a good homie. He's got a little broken arm. Solid.
Yeah, no big deal.
It's always good to have.
Good showing from Renee Rinna Congas.
Thank you.
So
I
real quick,
appreciate it.
Danny, you were saying places
yeah.
to ride.
Well,
Snowboarding in Vermont.
I think just the place where I was saying Stoke, because all our homies are in Burlington. Like that, we get to go attack the mountain as a crew. You know, we spent a lot of time in Stratton as younger kids. Sugarbush is some place that we've been kind of gravitating towards. Really cool people up there. Good little park. I mean, Vermont has got a lot to offer. Killington's the mountain that stays open, the latest, and they do a lot of good stuff with their park. And I'm looking forward to getting on the east more. Actually, they've been having
It
a
just
decent
snowed there.
winter.
Just snowed
decent
2 feet.
winter.
2
Yeah,
feet
they just
the
got
other
like
day.
2 feet of snow in back-to-back nor'easters.
Boom.
And
Proper
this is
method.
kind of a Vermonter, isn't it?
This is Rakai Tate.
And I know he's a
He's
Kiwi.
from New Zealand, but I
but-
think he goes to one of the
Yeah,
academies.
I met him in Vermont, and he's a good shredder, man. He's really come a long way. Again, another one of those riders. Oh,
Stays in. Stays in.
Oof.
nice.
Cab double cork 10, almost.
Another young guy who's got a lot ahead of him in snowboarding, so that's
Got
good.
another question coming here at Giannis Bedolini. How old was Danny when he started riding? Question mark.
I started riding when I was like, I started standing on sleds when I was like 3 or 4, but I think we got bindings and an actual snowboard when I was 9. And that was really the beginning of it all.
And where was that? Was that back in your home
Michigan.
state of Michigan? Yeah.
That was Michigan. That was tow ropes. You really had to learn how to use a tow rope before you could actually learn to snowboard.
Dude,
High-speed
I
tow
am
ropes.
I am a proponent of tow ropes because
Same.
I think they make you a better snowboarder because they're
course.
hard to ride.
And the session gets
Yeah,
heated when
exactly.
you got a
Yeah.
tow rope that's, and
More
that
like a
was the
skate park.
beauty of growing up in Michigan. Not the greatest mountains, but we got 1,000 laps in, you know. And talk about lapping a jump. You can do that real quick. And-
Here's a heavy-hitting question from Hunter Shonery. What's Dani Davis's favorite food to eat?
beef and broccoli.
Beef and broccoli stir fry.
There you go.
Yep.
It's very
That's a
simple.
great, that's a great answer,
Yeah,
actually.
he knew.
My
He
mom-
just has that off the
My
top.
mom always asks what I want when I come home.
Shout out
Literally,
Lauren Davis.
the slightest hesitation,
Beef and broccoli.
Danny
next.
just goes, after a
A little rice, soy sauce. One of my faves. One of my
Oh,
faves.
God, it's
This
true.
kid's actually become a really good rider as
Yeah,
well.
Joshua Bowman. He was
Yeah.
in that top spot for a while. Now he's down in 9th place.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
He was going Richter on his first run.
Yeah.
Huge.
Oh, he's starting it off with a humongous frontside 12.
Back 9.
Look at the size of this front double. His first run, so massive.
Wow.
Nice.
Last time he put on the brakes.
Cab, Sev there. Mellow, but taking it in the front 9.
Huge front 9
Double
double grab.
grab. Nice run.
Every
Lands in a
year,
wave.
both at the U.S. Open in slopestyle and halfpipe, it seems like there's kind of that one relatively unknown kid to snowboarders worldwide who kind of sneaks into the finals, and that's like the start of his professional snowboarding career. I feel like Josh Bowman could be that guy.
Yeah.
He could end up in that top 10 in the
Fearless.
snowboarding.
I mean,
yeah.
look at how big he's going. On this next hit is just massive.
Yeah, he deserves it. He's been working hard, and he's come a long way. He's a good frontside spinner, man. That front 12 happens like nothing. Front 10's no problem for him. I know that was something he was working on all fall. It's good to see him.
He's a
riding
tall
well.
dude too, but he uses it well.
Big boy.
He uses it really well.
That's pretty, he's got that front 9 double grab. Even just that kind of creativity is
Yeah.
rad. Just changing it up,
Seen a lot of it.
from the classic tail grab and adding a little flair.
So can he improve upon his first run score of
I think he needs to.
64.37?
Oh no, does not even come close to improving. So in a very risky spot down there in 9th. I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, right now our bubble boy is Naito Ando from Japan, sitting on a 62.37. He is in the 10th place position, but looking on this list, there's a bunch of names that you're used to seeing in the top 10 for a final that are not quite there. So I think that top 10 is going to switch up.
This June Sick Lee. He's got a lot of points to go. Part of the Burton Kilroy crew, dropping in to try to improve his 10 that he posted on run 1. Let's see if he can jump up 70 points.
Boom's going through his run in his head a little bit.
Visualize and attack. Visualize and attack.
Representing Korea.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Only
Right on.
Korean rider.
Bam.
Oh, starting it off much better than that first run. Super stylish method to kick it off, and it just slips out. Too heavy on the heels.
You know, it's a technical sport.
It's like golf, you know. You can't. If you miss the ball at all, you top it. You know, you hit a little too far, you go hit the grass.
You don't want to end up in the rough.
Exactly.
And,
a
you
lot
know,
of analogies.
Yeah.
A little more energy perhaps in snowboarding, but still the focus is almost very similar.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
Wonder what Tiger Woods would look like on a snowboard.
well, at this point in his life, I think there was a time when he may have been quite an athlete on his snowboard.
I would've
Now,
killed
you know,
it.
he's a little older.
Spinal fusion. He had that
Oh, things-
surgery.
Yeah, we're getting a ton of questions coming in on this Instagram post. This one's pretty funny. LolDo6, trying to get into snowboarding. I'm from Georgia, though. Any advice? And then somebody responded, at loose to 6, move to Canada. What's your advice? We're trying to get into snowboarding. What's your advice?
Can't you go to North Carolina and shred or something like that? There's
Yeah.
Boone, and I mean, you can get out there and shred. Don't tell me you're too far from
Vacation in Vail. Come out to the
Yeah.
Rocky Mountains.
Great
Get out
call.
A couple
there,
times a year.
get in the
fall
car
in
with
love.
the family or the friends and drive to a mountain and
Yeah.
strap a board on your feet.
Get after that rope toe.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, the hardest part about learning to snowboard is actually going out there, braving the cold. And
Yep.
The more you do it, the better you get, like
That's
anything.
right.
Marcus Mallon.
Yeah, what do you know about this guy, Dan?
He's a Finnish guy.
Goes big.
He's been,
Oh, smooth first hit.
you know, me and him are probably similar age.
30, yeah, he's the oldest rider in the field today.
And he's part of the, you know, the Finnish squad, and they kind of has got a killer. That back rodeo can be huge and awesome, and you know, he just didn't put the run I think he wanted together there, but he's a good rider, man. Switch.
He's been in it
He's
for
been in the game
so
for a while.
long,
Yep.
too.
Dude, he's
goes
had a
huge.
great career, and back in the day, man, he was one of those spinners, man, where you could just plan on Marcus Mallon putting some big spins together.
I got some more questions coming in. We're going to blast through some of these. Hunter Shaunery, why does Dani Davis like the method so much?
Oh man, do you snowboard? No,
Answer explains itself.
I think everybody loves a good method, and I think, you know, it's just one of those classic maneuvers in boarding. You see
Artistic
it on any great snowboard logo, like back when TTR was around. It was the method.
Yeah,
you know, and,
exactly.
And
It's
what's
like a
the trick
whip,
we like
right?
to see? Terry
Someone
method.
put it really well to me once. It's the one trick in snowboarding that you can tell how good someone is at snowboarding just by doing that one trick.
It's all about that control.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of reminds me of like FMX and motocross.
Yeah.
You know, when you do a whip, you know,
If
how
you
you
ha-
can whip it and have the control to bring it back and hold on to the balance.
It's the deciding factor. If
Yep.
you can do a proper method, you are a good
And
snowboarder.
especially a switch method. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think
great
people
answer.
realize how hard a switch method is.
Yeah.
You know,
But
I
I
think
guess you
the
do.
actual switch part of riding through the half pipe is harder than the actual method.
Once you're in the air,
Yeah.
going up switch heel side.
That's the hard part.
All right, next question. Where's Danny's favorite place to ride Jack Matroni? Okay, that's maybe I'm reading that. No, I'm just kidding.
I
Where's
usually
your
have to go right up on Jack's shoulders.
Where's your favorite place to ride?
You know, man, that's too hard to answer. I think every place has its day, you know, and I've had great days, and you know, I just had a waist deep day at Squaw Valley. I've had good days here at Vail, but I think one of my favorite places to go, the culture, the mountains, Japan is January or February in Japan. You can't really beat it. Alaska in April is insane. I mean, I think every place has its time.
Yeah.
Vail right now during the U.S. Open is
It
on
is.
fleek.
Gorgeous out here.
It's on fleek, as the youth would say. Marcus Mallon posting a 61.8, not enough.
11th place for Marcus Mallon. So close, and Nato Ando still sitting in that 10th place spot.
Kent Callister, this kid had an insane first run. He had one butt check in his run that knocked his score down, but if without that, I think he definitely has what it takes to bump into that top 5. He went huge.
Yeah, his first hit method is real nice too. He's got a really good method, this kid.
Take your phones out.
Great skateboarder.
Really?
Great skateboarder. Yeah. This kid's one of those all-around boarders. Who's good, and again, another one of those riders who's really gotten good this year. You know, just contest to contest to contest, he's really gotten a lot better. And riding with a lot more speed, which is good to see.
There's that
Nice method. That trick we love to see.
And look at the size
Front
of his
double
double.
10.
Boom, puts it down. Cab double coming around, gets it.
And a little low, but still keeping his amplitude pretty good.
Double crippler. That trick just looks so terrifying.
And there it is, a lot cleaner. Kent Callister cleans it up.
All right, so right now, Ken Callister, first run score 47.24. He's sitting in 18th place. Can he jump up at least 8 spots? We will find out after we get another quick question in for Dani Davis.
We got a question.
Scores over here.
Yeah, we got the scores. We got the scores. Don't reveal the secret that I can see the scores before they pop up. I am not bulimic. I can't read minds. We've got another question coming up. This one, I kind of like this one. It's built in the story plot. Got to go all the way back up. A lot of questions coming back in. Here we go. Do you think, from Carol des Maperez, do you think the first place is going to stay in the U.S. or stay in the U.S. or is it going overseas this year? Tuning in from Costa Rica.
The first place?
Yes, I kind of read. No, I read that right, but I think what he means is, do you think that Scotty James is going to stay in first?
All the way through this qualifier.
What country do you think the overall winner will be from? Australia, Japan,
Yeah, I
US?
guess we could take that question anyway.
Well, a lot of questions in one question. I think Scotty James could very well be at top of the podium. I think Ayumu's obviously got a great chance. Both those guys sat on top of the podium, found themselves up there at the Olympics. You know, it's a tough field out there.
I mean, Ben Ferg, he
Ferg's
hasn't
got a
had
chance.
his big U.S. Open win yet. Everyone
No.
would like to see him take home the top spot.
You guys are
Love
going to
it.
want to tune back onto the screen. This is Chase Blackwell, and he went insanely huge on this first hit, backside 5.
Another
one of the highlights.
Coloradan
Look at the
who's
size of this.
Who's just become a really good rider this year. This kid's young, and he's good, and he's a nice guy. I really like this kid.
Yeah, he went stratospheric on this back 5.
Yeah, he's got a good back 5.
So sick.
And
Look
this
at the
is where
speed
he
coming
fell
out
on his
of it.
first run.
Oh!
He had it too. I mean, that's kind of what you were saying earlier. It's all about what you were doing in between those runs, and he landed that backside 5 with so much speed that it looked like he just kind of wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah, sometimes you get a little G'd out, you know? You get too much speed,
Yep.
and you start to feel it in
Gravity.
your legs, and then you still chuck the trick, and it just takes some of that snap away so you don't get that trick around as quick.
And there's so many of these Colorado kids on the come up in the pipe scene. For the longest time, it was all the good pipe riders came out of the East Coast, out of the
Yeah.
academies, out of the East Coast.
Yeah.
But now they're starting to pop up out of the Rockies, and kids like Chase Blackwell are really leaving their mark.
And I think Colorado's got a lot of 22-foot half pipes. There's
Yeah.
not a lot of 22-foot half pipes. There's a great one here in Vail all year, I think. There's a good one in Aspen, great one at Breck, and you don't have that in every state. So I think you have a lot of Colorado people ripping the ditch.
All right, so Chase Blackwell, unfortunately, that will not be enough. He will
it's a
stay in
bummer.
It's a bummer.
27th place.
I like that kid. It's a good shredder.
And we are just about halfway through the final runs here in men's half-pipe semifinals. Right now, Scotty James still in a commanding lead right now in that top spot, followed by Chase Josie and Ayumu Hirano.
I think Chase Josie could sit on top.
Yep,
of the podium,
absolutely.
Actually, he's got
Here's
a
a look at
heavy
it.
run, and so he's in second, and doesn't sound like he did his full
Yeah.
pull.
I mean,
and,
still, it's only 62.37, so really anyone can squeak into that top 10, and there's still so many insanely good riders to go. So
yeah, we're only halfway through. You got a lot of good dudes, and a lot of the Euros coming up. You know, you got Jan Scherer and
Totally.
Pat Bergner, who's already in there, and you know, a lot of these guys, they got a chance to sit up there close to the podium.
They do. And so the one defining aspect of half-pipe riding is amplitude. It's the one thing that someone who's never snowboarded before and someone who snowboards 200 days a year can appreciate. And we had some dudes going absolutely gigantic. Here you're looking at the young gun Ikumi. Look at the size of that frontside air, pushing that 20-foot envelope.
Yes.
And
I
then
mean,
we just saw him.
30 feet
That was insane.
down to flat. We got some incredible questions coming here. I really like this one from Diego MTZMH. I got a small question. Do you think that the judges would evolve into rewarding more style and creativity and less the acrobatics? I love when Ben Ferguson does the 180 drop-in or Danny switch airs. Inverts, hand plants, not as difficult, but everlasting cool. Thanks a million. Great job.
Absolutely. I think more hand plans should be thrown in at the end of runs.
Yeah, I like that.
I
That's
agree.
a good call. So sitting in 8th place, Derrick Livingston put down a solid first run.
Yeah, he was in the
Canadian.
lead for a while. Derrick was kind of that deciding factor in round 1 where he put down an insane run, kind of raised the bar, and then the guys started going off. So can Derrick Livingston get a little higher than 8th place? I would not be very comfortable sitting in 8th place right now with some of the field left to drop.
You want to secure your spot into that final, and he's pushing it like
Oh,
right there.
snuck it in.
Barely
Yeah,
had
talk
room
about-
left for that. and
Talk about
that's-
getting greedy,
that's a
because
risky
you can
move.
run out of pipe wall pretty quick.
I don't think greedy's the right word. I think it's just risky business.
yeah.
When
Yeah.
you got when that pipe starts to come down, you lose all your vert, which keeps you in there.
But it's
And,
got to be hard. Like when you're putting one together, it's got to be hard to just pull the ripcord. Like you want to sneak one more in there. You're feeling the flow.
I think like our question though, like do you throw a 1080 in at the end, kind of low and squeezed in, or do you just bust a sick like Andrak?
I like
Yeah.
it. I like the Andrak, you know.
Miller flip
It's
or
yeah,
you know
Funny
something.
too.
And
At the top of the pipe, that's usually when all the coaches are going,
Get
get out,
out!
get out,
Get
get
out
out of there, get,
just stressing.
just like, don't.
but he put it together. I mean, switch. I think
Yeah,
that's a back nine for him. And I mean, Canada doesn't have a lot of riders. This guy's one of their only half-pipe riders, to be honest. Ooh, see, he just
barely
barely.
squeaked
Yeah,
in.
Canada
he kind of put his hands up like,
Canada's
"Whew."
like
could've
Canada's
been
in the lead almost. They're at the forefront of like slope style riding. But I
Yeah.
guess as far as pipe riding, it's got to be the U.S. and Japan right now from everything I've seen.
That's
Yeah.
funny you say that because Red Gerard actually just won the Olympics for the U.S. not too long ago, which was
True.
awesome.
Very true.
Which was, yeah, I mean, it was definitely, you know, looking at the Olympics, it looked like the Canadians were going to
mean,
sweep
they
it,
were-
the Norwegians, and then,
They were a beast
Yeah.
going into the Olympics.
but shout out Red Gerard, taking it down for USA.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to some more of these questions. Snowboarder _ Moy, please give me a shout out. There you go, Snowboarder Moy, that's a shout out for you.
Oh, this is one of my faves
Oh,
right
we're
here,
getting
Barry.
ready
I'm
for-
sorry.
Yep,
Gabe
let's shut down the
Focus
questions.
on this
Eyes
run.
on the screen.
We're gonna focus on this bad boy right here.
The chillest Ferg.
The chillest
The
Ferg.
chillest.
He
I mean, they're
is.
both pretty chill too. So he's
G-Money
got to be
Ferg.
extra chill.
Dude, I like the feature, the
the
drop-in
Red Bull hop.
feature. I love that.
He was the first person to coin that in his first
Oh
run.
no, dude, come on. A little squirrely on that first hit. Front five. He does that front five crippler nose so good.
He landed flat on that front five. I mean, talk about that too, Danny. Like if the first trick that you envision doesn't necessarily go the way that it wants, can it ruin the rest of the run for you? Can it
Yeah.
totally throw you off?
Yeah, especially when you land flat.
Yeah.
I mean, because that can suck all your speed away and just a confidence booster. When you send that first air and you catch perfect tranny and rip into that
Yeah.
next hit, that's like, all right, now we're in.
It just
I got
builds.
this. Yeah. But it's, you know, contest riding's always challenging in a sense that, you know, it's hard to do everything perfect, and you got 5 to 6 hits in here that you literally need to be pretty perfect on every hit.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's a really hard part to do.
I got another funny question coming in from
Let's hear it.
Jackson Wells,
Yeah.
professional freestyle skier.
All right, Jackson.
Why is snowboarding so cool?
Well, I don't know. It's why is surfing cooler than water skiing?
Oh,
You know,
man.
why is skateboarding cooler than rollerblading? I don't know. I didn't write the rules.
I don't know if he
on-
asked why if it's cooler than skiing. I think he was just asking in general.
I don't know why it's cool.
Oh,
I'm
you're
saying
just
why
saying that's
is-
for other people to decide.
I don't know why it's
I
cool,
see what you're
man.
saying.
But standing sideways and surfing
Yeah.
just feels really rad.
It's
you
a
know?
feeling, man. It feels like
It's,
flying. It's kind of like, you know, it's just you reach flow state. You kind of
Well, it's
let
a little
go. It's like
the
meditational.
Way, the way it started too, like it's just kind of like a little
Camaraderie.
anti-establishment. It's different. It's not the norm, you know.
Yeah.
When snowboarding first started, it was completely outlawed in ski
rebels.
areas.
Yep.
You know.
And I think snowboarding's cool. We're feeding off some pretty cool sports, skateboarding, surfing, like, you know, the sort of, and the people who are in it, I think
culture.
really are what makes snowboarding so
100%.
cool. Some of the coolest people on earth I've met through snowboarding, surfing, skating.
Shout out Jackson Wells. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks everybody for tuning in wherever you are on the internet.
This
Front
is
10 tail.
Iko Anai in the half pipe right here.
Didn't snap it hard enough.
Nah, just didn't-
Unfortunately, that's not gonna do it.
Just didn't get it like you need to off the lip, you know. And when you don't get that snap and you're doing those doubles, you're just hanging on, hoping that you
Yeah,
come
that's
around to at least your feet,
scary
your butt,
couple
your
seconds.
Is it one of those things where you?
Oh, that was sick.
Is it one of those things where as soon as you leave the lip, like you know that you're not gonna kind of get it all the way
then
around?
sometimes you muscle
think you
it,
have
you
it.
know, you like, and then sometimes you think you have
And
it
then
and you're
boom.
nowhere close.
The lip is just all of a sudden in your face. Like, I'm not hungry actually.
But it's definitely you know, the double tricks are you know, sometimes the flat spins you can really squeeze them around pretty easy by just yanking in the grab or something, but those doubles it's a lot of flipping and spinning going on, and when you don't get that right snap.
We got at Gabby Pavlik
Hey Gabby.
hitting us up. What are some good activities for me to work on during the summer months to get me better at snowboarding? I mean,
Skate.
skateboarding, 100%, number one. I'd say jumping on a trampoline always helps with air awareness.
Absolutely.
Surfing if you're close to the
Surfing.
ocean.
Yeah, just getting outside, everything outside, you know? Snowboarding
Mountain
is a sport where you
biking, I think-
connect with nature, you know?
Yeah.
Just get out there and just push yourself past human capabilities like this young ripper right here, Toby Miller, Shaun White's protege. Shaun White has been, he was in here earlier, Danny, telling us that he was giving Toby some advice to maybe don't throw it all on the line, hold back a
Dude,
little bit and
he is one of those kids who will just
throw down.
do his everything he's
A-run.
got in qualities. You're like, no, man,
And he almost had
just
it though.
put it down.
His
Yeah,
first run
but-
was going so smooth, and then he went for that front double 14 on
And
the
he
last hit.
fell on
It
the
was
last hit.
so
Yeah.
close.
And like, who's chucking front double 14 in qualies? Tone it back.
In it to win
Pull
it.
one down.
Look, taking the whole top of the deck to drop in for this first hit.
Okay, okay.
And
Oh, Tobes.
Toby, man. Frontside double cork
He had
1080.
it. He's definitely disappointed about that.
Another happy spirit up there at the
He's
half
like,
pipe.
Sean's not competing. It's my one chance to win this thing.
Oh, here we go. Got a little one-hitter toward the bottom.
Oh, boy. Hold on.
He's got a little Japanese in him, I think.
Oh, going for the 14 on a one-hitter.
That's what I mean, man. He doesn't care. He's
That's
not
why
the
I
kind of
think-
guy
yeah.
who's gonna bust like a method for
Yeah.
his
gonna send it.
victory lap or his fall lap. He's gonna chuck front double 14.
I think that's what we were talking earlier too. That's why Sean likes to be surrounded by this kid. Just young, loves snowboarding, loves to push it no matter what the conditions, and so this kid's got a long career ahead of him. That's for sure.
Dan, man, what do you got planned after the Open? What does the rest of the winter hold for you?
Dude, small heli trip right after this.
Very cool.
excited for that.
Small
and then
heli trip. No big
quick. It's a quick. I say small because
Oh,
it's
okay.
quick. It's only a few days, so our window is small, which is kind of always scary on a heli trip. And then I'm gonna try and go back home to Tahoe and
So much snow
see
there.
if Miracle March kind of happens.
Cool.
Don't like to talk about it, especially over the internet.
Miracle
But,
Ryo Iono's up here. Here we
But
go. Holy
yeah,
boy.
just gonna start shredding, filming.
Cool.
Maybe try to get a piece park done. No plans yet for that, but
Very cool.
trying to get something in the works and
Nice.
trying to get some filming in though. Basically, yeah. Try to get some deep snow. I didn't get to ride much POW. Probably like Ryo. We've been standing at the top of half pipes all year and in the ditch trying to make some podiums. But let's see Ryo what he's got here. I haven't been watching him ride in a while.
Oh, going for the front side.
Where's he at?
He's down.
He's
He
in
scrubbed. So he did that.
14.
He did that in his first run. Stomped a front 14, perfect. Cab 10. I don't even remember. He spun so much, but his last hit was a cab 12, and he put it down, but he just kind of was a little too toe side heavy. Had to hold himself up. So
But big,
Dude,
much respect.
so much respect.
So much respect
the Japanese
for Ryo.
coach.
I mean, he's going for a front side 1440.
And he stomped it the first
That's
run.
the risky biscuits on the first hit, you know, like
Yeah.
that's that flow you're talking about, you know, that like sometimes I like to do a mellow trick first hit just to like get me going into a good mood for the run, and when you chuck one of your hardest tricks first hit, you got to be just ready to go.
I got some cool questions. Jeremy Larson, mad respect for this one. Shout out to my sister Lauren for International Women's Day. #WomenRule. That's awesome.
Very cool.
Faith Mary Savannah, was halfpipe scary when you tried it for the first time at Travelin' Dan?
Half pipes were so small, and I was such a young little minded person that I was ready to try anything. But starting the small half pipes, like up here at Vail, they got a little mini pipe.
Yep.
It's not too scary. If you jump right into the 22, that
be
can
a little scary.
That could be pretty scary.
Baby steps to greatness.
Yeah, and make sure you're just having fun, but pushing your limits at the same time.
I like this question at Robma9. Should I study for a philosophy 201 midterm or keep watching? Yeah,
You know what, man?
I'd keep watching, dude.
Multitask. Come on, it's 2018. Get your multitask
That's
on.
our philosophy.
A little bit of studying and a lot of watching. Because Jan Scherer, he's worth watching.
He's currently in 7th place, had a killer first run, sitting in a pretty comfortable spot, but definitely wants to bump up his score for a little extra cushion. Look at the size of that cap 10.
Bump up your score so you're sitting in a good place for finals, too. You don't want to be the first guy dropping.
Exactly, because they run them in reverse order for the final, so the first place qualifier does have a strategic advantage.
Solid run from Jan Scherer.
Great run. Guys, I got to unlace the boots.
Oh, yeah. Feel free to make
Please
yourself
do
at
make
home.
yourself. You know what, Danny?
It's
The
gonna get a
whole
little
purpose
stinky,
of this
though.
set is to get comfortable.
We got
gonna
day
get-
beds in here.
We
Dan.
got the day beds going.
It's going to get a little stinky in here.
Oh no, actually, yeah, maybe keep him on. Keep him on, please. Dan Davis, I've grown up with this kid, and he has the stinkiest feet in the world. I might even just switch my seat over here. If you don't
Well, and I'm really running I've been putting some life into these boots.
Yeah.
So these liners are just full of stink.
Yeah.
It's not quite
there it
time for
is.
new boots, but maybe time for new liners.
And we're going to get Dani Davis out of here. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm going to rush to the hospital.
So is this going to bump up?
I hope so. I hope so. I mean, it was definitely bigger and cleaner, but we've seen a lot of the second runs, similar runs that were bigger and cleaner, and they haven't really bumped it up. But yeah, he improved by 0.6.
Yeah, but he
So-
stays in 7th.
You never know.
Now,
You know?
is it Jan or Jan?
I think it's Jan,
I think
Dan.
it's a soft J.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like Yog
Like Jog.
Yeah.
or
Ryan Wackendorfer. 12-letter last name.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, he wins for longest last name.
That's what I was saying.
Booyah.
I was like, wow, look at how long this last name is. And then T-Bird's like, yeah, 12 letters. Just like that. I was like, what are you talking? How did you do that? Whack Attack is #1. I love the signs.
I like Dubdorfer.
Dubdorfer.
There you
Make
go.
this pipe your. That's awesome. And you know, this is his first contest back. He's had a season on the sideline, so
He had a big slam at Dew Tour. And he had such a good run going, so I'm actually really stoked to see what he puts together. Front double 10,
Yeah, back-to-back double 10s.
cab sev. Or is that a front sev for him?
Yeah, he's regular footed, so yeah, that was cap 7.
sev. Double crip.
But Michael Chuck.
Oh, yeah, double.
See,
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry,
See what
folks.
happens? It's
I'm
not-
really sorry.
When you watch
I get
64
mad
runs,
when the announcers blow that, so
and
I'm,
you see why, man.
that's one for me. That's one.
You got one. 3 strikes
one.
and you're out.
Dan, that's all right, man. We can't do what you can in a pipe, so.
I can't even
know?
call it.
I actually stepped in the studio yesterday and tried to put the trick names up, and it is almost as challenging as doing the tricks.
Yeah,
Everything's
I saw
happening
Brock
so
before
fast.
dinner.
Yeah.
You went in with Brock Crouch.
Yeah.
And Brock was straight up like, I got so much respect for that trick calling,
I
dude.
marked a
That's the
triple cork,
hardest thing.
a Miller flip. You mustered Miller flip.
Backside Miller flip 1440.
I mean, this was a run right here. This
Not-
could jump up.
This double
Potentially.
Michael Chuck on the lower end of the spectrum.
Yeah,
But
I will
stopped.
say, like, amplitude is king in half-pipe riding.
It
you know,
is.
So
Doing a double Michael Chuck
only needs
5 feet out is definitely hard because you got to throw it so hard, but it's
I mean,
super scary to do it 15 to 20 feet out.
Yep.
So
he only needs a 62.4 to jump into the top 10, which is not where he wants to be, but that 10th spot is still a pretty low score.
Yes.
The door's open.
where's he at right now? Sorry.
He's
8th.
currently
So he's in there for now, right?
no.
Oh,
He's
no.
like, he's not even on the screen.
Oh,
He
he's
must
not.
be in 30th.
Well, hopefully that gets him in there. I mean, that was a good run. Couple doubles, 3 doubles, right? Which is always part of making a good half-pipe run these days, having a couple doubles in there.
For sure.
It's not all just methods and back threes.
And he's coming off a pretty nasty injury, too. You know, he broke his arm earlier in the season, made a super quick recovery out here riding at the U.S. Open. Right now, that 10th place spot still being held down by Nato Ando.
And he's watching like, oh,
Yeah,
man.
he had his fingers crossed. What
He's
is it going to
dropping
be?
next.
The judges are taking their time. Oh, here we go.
Which could mean one or two things. Oh, it doesn't look good.
That's a
looking
low.
like
He needs a big flow here.
57.
It's not going to bump him in there.
So Ryan, welcome back to competitive snowboarding. What a great showing for your first event. Many more to come. Now you have the rest of the weekend to enjoy here and all that US Open has to offer. And if you're in Vail, you're not in Vail, make sure to download the Burton US Open app. There's so much going on at this event, it's hard to keep track of, but with that app, it'll make your life easier, trust me.
So right now, we are down to our final 8 riders.
All right.
And it looks like only one of them is not up in that top 10, and that is Raghu Katayama.
Okay, so Raghu needs a stomp.
Raghu needs to stomp, but this guy right here, Nato Ando, needs to get out of that 10th place spot if he wants to feel a little more comfortable heading into the big show on Saturday.
Here's a good quick question. At I Gennaro, will triples and pipe happen?
Yeah, that is a
It's
good question.
it's
I
happened.
mean, it has happened. Yue Zhang
Yep.
kind of landed one a few
It
years
just
back.
seems like that risk and consequence.
It will
is
happen.
Too high,
There's no doubt
though.
about it. But it's just how quickly will it happen?
Yeah,
I mean,
and will it become commonplace? That's a different question, I guess.
Yeah,
But
If it's more of just that last hit, chuck it and hope it comes around.
well, here's the thing: is a jump can be built bigger and safer. A 22-foot super pipe is just a 22-foot super pipe. You know, like
What
is
about a
the
48-foot small pipe?
exactly.
what a fakey. Cab 10. Flat cab 10.
Grab.
Front side 5.
You got Iron Maiden blasting in the background.
Front 5, back 5. Kind of mellow combo. Into a front double 10, so that's pretty tech. Cab double 10. Solid run.
And a front 9.
All right.
Smooth run,
that's-
smooth run.
All right, so Naito Ando.
Gets a little golf clap from the crowd. Not the biggest run we've seen, but still a solid run.
Yeah, his first run
Smooth
score is
air fakey.
62.37. He's going to want to bump that up right now.
Question is, did he land that run last time? Do you guys recall?
It was a very similar run
Okay.
to his first run. I think he was just trying to clean it up a little bit, maybe go a little bit bigger.
Solid. Definitely no major bobbles, which is definitely what you want to be doing. And
Dan, who is your favorite half-pipe rider of all time?
all time. Man, Dan Cass. I just grew up on such a heavy Dan Cass respect. Dan Cass, Terrier. I mean, much like Subject. There's
Yeah.
some really rad stuff in there. Ben Ferg's been crushing.
Yeah.
I just love watching Ferg rip anything, but the half pipe is really nice to see him in.
Yeah, just taking a lap with
I
Ben
feel like
Ferg.
so many people in our generation will say Danny Cass because he just unlocked and opened so many
Totally.
doors, you know?
That front 10 tail grab. So does it improve?
Yes.
Just
Bumps
a
him
little
up.
bit, but nice.
Ooh.
Sneaks his way.
Strategic chess
up a
move.
notch.
So Joshua Bowman right now is on the bubble.
And there's so many good pipe riders, though. It's really hard to put
Yeah.
a number on one. I mean, Mason Aguirre
Yeah.
was one of my ultimate
man,
faves when
yeah.
I was, growing up, and he was a big inspiration for me. Kevin,
Lego.
Lego,
Scotty.
Luke Matroni. I mean, dude, and then all the people who we don't see anymore, like Joe Eddy. Joe
Yeah.
Eddy was
Joe
like
Eddy,
was
yeah.
like this.
Shout out
just
Joe
so
Eddy.
there's just so many. Sorokin. Oh man, like there's just growing up. There's so many riders who, we maybe don't have a name and
Totally.
major name, but they're
Chase,
just so
huge
good.
front
Yeah,
10
Chase.
double. He's currently in second place. Now he
Yeah.
just
You will 100% see Chase Josie on Saturday in the final.
Damn. See,
Looks
and he's
like
one of those
he's-
guys who's not going to go mellow. He's sitting in second. He doesn't need to do a crazy run, but he's gonna.
Yeah,
I
kind
mean,
of seems
switch
like he,
double Michael Chuck, middle of your run. 2 different variations of double Michael Chucks. I mean, that's some of the most technical
I
half
think
pipe
he
snowboarding
was,
I'll
I think
ever
he was
see.
aiming for Scotty James right
I
there. I think he
think-
wants that #1 seed.
I think too. He's just like he's got a moment to practice in the competition moment without any consequences, you know, besides
Improving his score.
getting whacked in the flat bottom or something. But you know, he put a really good run together. Switch crippler, he can do that double. So on Saturday, we'll see the switch double crippler.
Well, yeah, he's
Switch
one of the
double
only
Michael
dudes
Chuck.
in the field that can do a double cork on or double flip on every single hit
Yeah.
in his run.
He's the double master. Cab double.
There's that front side 900.
Damn. And then, like, having a double Michael Chuck and a switch double Michael Chuck in your run is something you want to be doing if you're trying to sit on top of podiums.
Gotta
That's
give him
pretty
extra
sick.
points. Hop in the Red Bull
Steve's
banner.
points.
Yeah, do you think they're getting scored on that?
I mean,
You know what?
it's definitely
No,
it's a trick. Look at the trick difficulty. Almost a 24. Almost maxes it out.
Cow.
Holy
big
cow.
score.
I
Gonna
think
be a
it's
big
gonna.
one.
It does.
89.
89. Say hello to your new leader, Chase
Chase.
Josie. Now
He's been-
Scotty James
And
sitting up top.
you can guess that Scotty's going to lay down
He's
a
gonna
hammer.
throw
'cause
down now.
Dropping last, man, I can't say it enough. It is so nice on finals day.
Yeah.
You get to watch what everyone's doing. Even some of these guys who are dropping later because they did so well last year
Yeah.
and all through this year, they get to watch what everyone's doing. Okay, how crazy do I need to go for qualies? That's
Well, and you look
that's a
at
big advantage.
You know, on the women's side of things, look at someone like Jamie Anderson, Chloe Kim, Kelly Clark. That's like their recipe for success. Like put down the run that you know is going to win, and then just sit back and kind of like drop last and figure out what you're going to do. It's a chess match out there sometimes.
Yeah. I can't say I've ever had a victory lap.
How about
Really?
Chloe Kim's victory lap at the Olympics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Not holding back. Back-to-back 1080s.
Insane.
Much respect on that
So
move.
much respect.
She could have taken it just so easy, and she just sent it.
Doing it for
This kid,
women's
Pat
snowboarding.
Bergner,
So sick.
really become a good rider. Great switch backside spinner these days.
Currently in 4th right now at the
So
76.
he's chilling.
He's chilling. But, oh! Hopping over the Red Bull
Also,
sign.
more features before the drop in.
And he's one of those
I like
riders
that
too
idea.
that
Love it.
Oh!
he's kind of like you, Dan, in that he does compete, but he also like rides some pow.
Yeah.
Like likes to build backcountry jumps, likes to film a lot.
Oh!
Holy cow!
Huge inverted front 12. It was sick backside 3 nose.
Super talented musician too.
Switch back 7 tail. Having a sick run right now. Michael Chuck.
Hand plant.
Hand play.
Slash. I'll take it.
Slash is dope.
He's a good rider, man. That was solid.
That was really
Check
really
him
good
out
run.
on Spotify too, folks. Tossing the helmet.
It's in right now, man.
Dude,
Helmet tosses. Watch it if you're in the crowd.
Did Scott tell you about the
Might-
skit I want to film? Just involves me
I-
tossing a helmet
I
and hitting
already,
you.
I already
Drinking a
know
cup of
it.
coffee.
And I'm down. I'm
Awesome.
in. I'm way in.
Yeah, keep your head on a swivel in that crowd.
This front
Never
12,
know. Be
man.
careful. I think the crowd needs to be wearing the helmets.
That was. Put that around. He made that front 12 with
Oh,
their front
this
9.
is- look at this
See, look at that. That's why I
skis.
like the back threes, man. Little
You know who did the sickest back threes back in the day?
Ross
Ross,
Powers.
the boss Powers with
Yeah.
the shifty.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and like people always say, like, oh man, you know, they mentioned to me, like, you know, you've really been doing things differently, switch McTwist or whatever, but like, I doing exactly what Ross did or
Yeah.
what like Elijah Teeter did, and
That's
you
a
know,
name I
those-
was gonna bring
Those
up.
guys really, you know, I get a lot of cred for that, and those guys, they're the ones who
Elijah Teeter
totally
might be
Elijah
one of the
Teeter,
most
yeah.
like underrated half-pipe riders of all time. He
Yeah.
was so
remember
so
that like
good.
nollie front? I don't even know what you would call that. Like front 7,
Cab
twist
7.
off the toes. Like
Yeah.
what?
He would do like McTwist to
teeter
fakies.
totter.
The teeter totter.
The teeter totter.
Here comes Pat, second score,
That's a good score.
80.7.
Yeah.
Bumps himself up a notch into 3rd
Ooh,
place.
Bumps Ayumu Hirano down to 4th place.
Excuse me, Ayumu. Make room.
Excuse me.
Pardon me, Ayumu, coming through.
Sorry, on your left.
So the
Yeah.
next rider to drop, this is the drama. Raghu Katayama is the only rider that can
Raghu
switch up that.
Katayama is the drama?
That's right.
What the?
I didn't even know I was rhyming.
Oh, look at
Drama
that
with
photo.
Raghu Katayama.
This kid's cool. Another great energy up there up at the half pipe. A lot of high fives from him and smiles always. Very cool kid. Very friendly. And again, just an animal in the half pipe.
Yeah, when this kid kind of like starts putting it together, he's one of those riders that can go bigger on every single hit.
Oh, yeah.
Like he goes so huge.
Style.
He took a really heavy slam mid-season too, and you know, it's great to see him
Bounce
back at
yeah.
it, and like doesn't look like he skipped a beat. It's good to see, man. He's a good rider, always has been too.
All right, so can Rabuyama shake up this top 10 right now? He's currently sitting in 25th place with a first run score of 34.5.
I think he's
Oh,
gonna put
so
her
far
down.
so good. Huge, stylish method to kick things off. Perfect frontside 10, landing perfectly on the top of the tranny. Backs it up with the cab 10 double.
He's feeling it now. Now he's gonna run.
Look at how high he's landing on the tranny on every single hit.
Back-to-back nines.
Front double 12.
Does it.
Oh!
Wow.
Wow.
The drama continues here in run number 2.
I think the guy in 10th might not be after that.
Yeah, Joshua Bowman.
That was a solid run.
Yeah, right now the score to beat is 64.37. I don't really see any situation where that's lower than a 64.37.
I'm not going to say anything. Yesterday I kind of bit my tongue. I was after watching Reds run, I'm like, oh, he's for sure in. Sorry, Nick. And then he got 20th. So I'm going to just wait till the scores come up from now on. But what a run right there. Raghu, look at how perfect he is riding this half pipe. Every single hit lands it right back where he takes off.
Look at that. That was beast.
Boom.
That was beast. And I don't think maybe the first double 12 we've seen in qualies.
I think
don't
it is.
know. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a, that's one of the, that kid asked earlier, are we going to see triples? Like, now you're seeing just 12s and 14s become a lot more normal with the doubles, and I think so.
Yeah, remember when Shaun White did the front double 12 for the first time at X Games, and it was like mind-blowing.
And now
Was
you're
that-
seeing
He got
them-
100.
Yeah, that was the perfect 100.
You're seeing them way more often now. So.
I can't believe he threw that too. Like, this is a run where he just needed to squeak in a 10th. He was having a perfect run.
I feel like that could have been a
done something
front
mellow.
5.
Could
I
have been a
think
hand
it's
plane.
going to be top 5. I'm throwing it out. I don't mind. I don't mind being
I think
wrong.
he's going to be in third.
Okay, folks.
But then-
Boom. 22.8
Yeah, you
trick
did it.
Wow.
difficulty. Yeah, 6.
All,
That's going to be
his
a big
trick score alone almost gets him into the top 10.
Yeah, oh my goodness. 84.7. Massive score for Raghu.
Wow.
Yeah,
Bumps him
buddy.
into third.
Oh, I'm glad to see that.
That's awesome, man. This is a solid top 10 as we see it right now for
Yeah, so
Saturday's final.
We have our top 10. The question is now with Jake Pates, Ben Ferguson, Scotty James, and Ayumu Hirano left to go. Dan, you know these guys all pretty well. You've competed against them for a long time. You think they're going to try to get that top spot, or are they just going to kind of cruise?
I think Jake will probably chuck. He'll chuck. He'll try to bump himself up. I bet Ferg will do a cruiser run.
Yeah.
Ferg's not scared to drop
Yeah,
mid-pack.
We got a nice text message question from Preston Strout. Question for Dani. How many times can you grab in one air?
Oh! Man, I've only pulled the
like video games.
The 4, maybe perhaps 5 in one air.
Danny, that's a quad.
That'd be a good contest.
That is
Yeah,
a quad.
that's where the quads need
Dan,
to
be happy with that.
go. Yeah. No quads and pipe, but quad grabs. all
Okay.
good.
He's-
Oh
dude,
my God, that was a huge double Michael Chuck.
And his is like so different than
So
all the other
steezy.
double Michael Chucks, and that's the beauty of snowboarding. There's no perfect way to do these tricks.
Scrubbing out on that one.
Jake's
so.
one of those dudes that went from like a top 10er to like a top 3er in one season.
It was
like
more
he
like
really,
top like
One-
30er
one
into
contest.
top 3er. It was like
Yeah.
he really spiked. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
His riding has gotten so insane in the last 2 seasons.
Kind of like Scotty James. Like Scotty James for such a long time was like, man, this kid's really good, but he's never really a threat. And then he went from that to the top.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Jake's fun to watch. Like this double, Michael
was
Chuck is
so
so
sick.
much different than what you'll see from Chase or somebody else. And again, with his back 12, he grabs tail. That's
Yeah.
something you don't see from many people. That's the way to kind of stand out, not only as a snowboarder, but in the judges' eyes as well.
Dani, what's been your top 2 highlights from run number 2?
Highlights? Raibu's an animal.
Yeah.
That front double 12, he did not need to put that down at the end, and he did. That was really fun to watch. And I think, man, I like those little guys at the beginning.
Yeah.
The junior
Val-
jammers.
Valentino, Jake
Ah, hypes
Canter.
me
Yeah.
up. I get psyched on that.
Oh,
Here we
here's
go.
the dude.
Ben jamming. Ben Ferguson.
Coming out of Bend, Oregon. What is it about Bend, Oregon that just creates
Just a cool
incredible
town, man.
snowboarders?
Cool town, Mount Bachelor's right there. You got the river, you know,
Yeah.
floating down the river in the summer.
You might run into
Mount
Jerry
Hood.
Lopez.
Yeah, you might see
on the
Jerry
chairlift.
Lopez.
It's kind of
Alex
like
Lopez.
rednecky mountain.
Yeah.
You know, like Ferg's a good old boy. He likes to
Harley
wrestle. You know.
Okay,
Whoa.
that is how you do an air to
See, and that
fakie,
one
folks.
was, you know, this is going to be Ferg
he's
cleaning up
looking
the
good.
first run, if that's even possible, because it was super good.
I like the backhand. Is always kind of like that old Terrier style. He's just got like the rudder backhand up in the
And
back.
I was wrong. Ferg didn't take it mellow. He's just putting down the hammer.
Look at how far he travels on that
Yeah,
trick.
that
That's a
is-
trick you want to go up and down, and he just travels 20 feet.
Great run. Great run.
Wow.
Definitely,
Insane.
definitely, you know, like the height went less as he went, but this air to fakie was, that's the stuff we like to see.
That was unbelievable.
Blotto's
it
out
enough?
there taking
Oh,
photos.
he's
and,
happy right now.
and he's happy. He just got a gram of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that
Cab
enough
double.
to bump Raibu's last run?
I think, you know, Ferg did the same run. I can't say that this one was like miles better than the last. I think he'll sit somewhere around where he is, and it'll be interesting to see what Ferg puts together for finals. He's got a back 7. I feel like he could do where that back 3 is. He could do back 10 there, but that's a challenging combo. This into the switch Mickey. I mean, nobody in this field is doing a switch McTwist. I think you see a lot of the same tricks being thrown in these runs.
Yeah.
Nobody's
This
doing switch
trick
McTwist or switch double.
So consistent on this trick.
I don't even know what to call that trick.
Did
know,
you
it's-
see in women's semis today, Jiayu Liu did 2 switch methods? So sick.
Yeah, and then went like 40 feet. Kind of almost looked like
Yeah.
by accident.
Yeah.
Just kind of went bigger and then boom, cab 3.
So cool.
Here it is.
59,
80.5.
bump.
All right.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Ayumu. Make some room.
Nice job. Bumps up.
Ayumu down
Wrong
to
again,
6.
man.
I'm telling you, man, run 2 just shakes it up.
That's what we like to see.
That's what we like to see. It's what makes the
that's what keeps
contest
us-
fun to watch.
This keeps us watching.
2 riders left to drop, Scotty
right.
James and Ayumu
Given the
Hirano.
respect from Jake Burton, always a supporter at the bottom of the pipe, getting a beautiful suntan today.
He's got pretty good seats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody likes. I don't know if there's somebody who
Courtside.
likes Borden more than Jake. That
Oh,
guy
yeah.
loves to shred.
And this guy also loves to shred, and he also loves to win. He's currently in second. Chase Josie just bumped him off of the top spot.
I'm thinking.
Look how calm, cool, and collected
I
he is.
think Scotty's
Wow.
going to send
I
it.
think we're gonna see
course he is.
a hammer run. But he's actually.
Look how aerodynamic that Red Bull helmet is, too. I
He's
mean,
in a
gonna go
fine
fast.
spot. He could take it so chill if he wanted to. He could take it very chill. But he won't. He'll send it. And Scotty's kind of, I feel like, one of those guys who kind of froths on the pressure.
Yeah, froth. He's a frother.
He likes to drop into a half.
He likes a
pipe
big
when he
late
needs
shank.
a good score.
Scotty James.
Here
I'm
we go.
excited.
Scotty James starting things off. Big old backside
So
3.
smooth.
Beauty.
Perfect switchback 9.
He's going to clean up the first run, I think. Do something similar, it looks like. Oh, front double 12.
Wow.
Speak too soon.
Back double 12.
Back-to-back double 12s.
Wow.
There it is, folks. Wow.
He just ran out of half pipe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Scotty James went so big. I think he only got 4 hits in. Wild. Insane run from Scotty James. Backside 360 right there. Into the switch backside 900. Yeah, he got 5 hits in.
5 hits. That was, I mean, again, the switch backside maneuvers, they're challenging.
Yeah, would you
They score
say,
well.
I know it varies by rider, but just generally speaking, toughest way to spin in a pipe, switch backside?
Yeah,
Yeah.
hands down. I mean, and you know, when you throw front double 12 in your run where you had front 9, that's a nice step up. He knows he has back double 12 on lock, so he's like, I'm just gonna try and do the front double 12 and bump myself up a little bit. And I think that could do it. You know,
Yeah, I think it could.
in my
And
eyes, that run, that's a heavy run. Right?
Scotty's a competitor, man. Like, he wants to drop last in
Yeah.
finals. He wants
Yeah.
that competitive edge. He wants to win
100%.
the U.S. Open.
100%. And he's one
Nice.
of those guys I like to see doing well. You know, he's a hard worker.
He's
got
a
good
good
style.
dude. Yeah.
and it's good to see him ripping.
I walked into his condo last night, and he was just, it was like 6 p.m., and he's just on the couch with a book in his hand, just casually reading. Like, what are you reading? He's like, I'm reading about this Australian boxer who was a nobody, and now he's at the top. And I was like, of course you are. You're like, very similar to me.
Kind of sitting in there like, do we want to give him the top spot? Does he deserve it?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think he's going to get it.
Yeah,
I do.
That was a pretty hammer run. I mean, Chase's run, Chase had the switch double Michael Chuck, which is always a hammer. That's a big trick score. Amplitude's big. Needs a good flow here.
Ah, so close, 87.2. He's got to be happy about that. Qualifying second in semifinals.
He's stoked.
You're all right. You're all right, mate.
But we got one dude left to drop.
Cheesy. Ayumu Hirano.
Oh, man. Where's Ayumu currently sitting? Sixth
He was
place.
like second forever.
Yeah. He got bumped down 4 spots. Look at his average finish, 4th place. That's average.
Oh, that's nice.
This is your final rider here in U.S. Open Men's Halfpipe Semifinals. Ayumu Hirano. We do have our top 10
locked in.
Here's a current look at your top 6 up in the top left there. This is it. Can he increase his score on this final run, final rider?
He certainly can.
I think you're right, Dan.
He certainly can.
I think it's a good point. I think he can. Will he, I guess, is more of the statement.
Exactly. Will he put it down? And will we see the front double 14? You know, I mean, is he just going to go nutso right here? I don't know.
The thing with Ayumu is, like, he's so mysterious. You just don't know.
He is, man. That's what I'm saying. He is a
man of mystery.
Stone cold human.
Watch the size of this first hit. This always makes me a little nervous. Blast off. Oh, my. Can you go bigger than that?
Yes.
I don't know, with the G-forces?
Cab double.
Going huge. Ayumu connecting on every hit. Perfect front 9. Back 9, so taking it easy. Front 14, is he going to do it? Yes, he is. Nope, front double 12. Perfect, though. With style.
Ayumu
I think that's going to bump it up.
The master tranny finder.
Yeah.
He is like...
Him and Raibu, man. Raibu's
bolts, too. Everything is just bolts.
Look at the size of that.
You notice, too, like, the thing with Ayumu that really... His legs don't move. Like, watch him. His, like... It's not... There's no movement in the legs.
Yeah, he's just
like,
locked in.
He is a strong little bulldog in that half pipe.
There's that frontside double cork 1080. Grab a truck driver. Both hands, both edges.
Grabbing truck driver. It's a crafty move because it helps.
Yeah.
Helps bust that trick around, you know.
Swag lord.
Well, and I do feel like, you know, some of the competitors, some snowboarders out there doing double flips, they're grabbing their knee. And I think the judges do take notice of that now, and they might dock you some points for that. Is that backside 900?
And this is kind of where he steps it up.
Yeah, this is the moneymaker. He just kind of switches his axis of spinning like mid-trick. It's wild.
It's one of those tricks that I look at, and I can usually see the tricks in my head, you know, like how I would go about trying it. That one's a little challenging for me to see. It's a wild one.
Let's see, is this going to bump up his score? The judges.
He's currently in 6th place with a first run score of 80 even.
He needs a 90 to bump into first.
Ooh. All right, let's see.
69.1.
What?
This is looking good.
I mean,
and he does it. 92.3. Ayumu Hirano will be dropping last in the finals on Saturday. Round of applause for Ayumu.
That's the amplitude we're talking about. That makes a big difference in your score.
And there you have it. That is it. That is all for the men's halfpipe semifinals. The top 10 is set. What a day here in Vail, Colorado. Are you kidding me?
Incredible.
Incredible.
So semifinals as a whole are done at the U.S. Open. It's only finals from here on out. Ayumu Hirano, your first place qualifier, followed by Chase Josie, Scotty James, Raghu Katayama sneaking up there at the last minute. Pat Bergener, Ben Ferguson, Jake Pates, Jan Scherer, Derrick Livingston, and Nato Ando.
A stacked
Hung
finals.
on there. Nato pretty much
He did.
held on
He was kind of bubble boy for, but He did get himself up in a 9th with his last
he got
run,
lucky
and
there.
then got
Yep.
bumped back down to
He
10th.
really saved
so,
himself.
Yeah, he would have been bumped out were he not to put down a better second run.
There you have it. The very excited Ayumu Hirano. And
That's the
there it
most
is.
I've seen him smile.
That's going to wrap it up for men's semifinals. Thank you all for tuning in. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break, but don't go anywhere when we get back at the post show.
Hey, Mikkel and Hitch, you shouldn't have left. So much pow-pow, it's still snowing.
Shelter so I don't get cold. Cause I'm watching here, gonna hit the lane. So I'm making a shelter. I don't freeze. But I don't know.
Yo, what's up? It's Red Rod. We're up here in beautiful Sauce Bay with some of the Burton riders.
October, big ass jumps, good ass weather, badass riders.
When the night call, yo, I call all my soldiers just to come and ball, yo. Soldiers. When the night call, yo, I call all my soldiers just to come and ball, yo.
Hey, what's up?
Night call, let me shine with the lights off. Night ball, I'ma spray like lights off. That my type now.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Burton U.S. Open Snowboarding Championships. Back in the studio for the post show. I'm Jack Matrani, sitting alongside Snowboarder Magazine editor Tom Monterosso and snowboard legend Dani Davis. What an incredible event we just witnessed, the men's halfpipe semifinals.
Yeah, it was unreal.
Unreal. That was absolutely insane. Here's some of our talking points. Let's start with the field.
Yeah, those
outside
riders
of the top three.
outside of the top 3, the Ben Fergusons, the Jake Pates, the Raghu Katayamas. Let's take a look at Ben Ferguson's gigantic air to fakie.
I hope somebody got a photo of this.
I hope. I'm
mean,
sure
the
they did.
style on
I'm
this
sure
mini
they did.
poke over the lip. Dani, what did you think about that?
Oh man, it's a beautiful maneuver. It's one of those tricks that, you know, they make it look effortless even though there's a lot of effort going in there. And then to combo it into the cab 10.
And here you got Jake Pates with that double Michael
that.
Chuck. Danny, you were saying he does
So
it unlike
different.
everybody else.
It's like Michael Chuck into barrel roll. It's a very cool trick. I really back what he's doing there.
And then here we go, Raghu Katayama. He was the only rider that could shake up the top 10, and on his second run, he put it down perfectly.
Every single hit.
Sneaking in there. Boom.
Not only
Qualifying in
sneaking
4th.
Yeah, not only sneaking, but again, like we were saying, man, putting together a run where he didn't have to go this crazy, you know? It was
this last hit where he might not have needed to do this, but still, no holding back. That front double 12, boom, puts
Yeah,
it
I feel
down.
like that could have been a front 9 and it would have got him in, but nope.
He's like, you know what? I kind of want to qualify way further up there,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
might as well. It's the U.S. Open. There's no holding back.
Yeah.
Let's, what else do we have to talk about, Tom?
I mean, of course, there's always the top 3.
The
you
top
know?
3.
You
the
got
hammers.
Third place, we had Scotty James.
Yeah, with an 87.25.
He was in first forever, the whole competition. Chase Josie bumps him out, and then Ayumu bumps him out.
Switchback 9. And the fact that Scotty put down a run like this and is in third kind of shows you how stacked, I guess, that top 10 is, you know. Backside double 12, no problem for him.
Scotty James, and then our second place qualifier, Chase Josie. Look at the size of this front double. cab.
You'll see that
Switch
become the
crippler.
double crippler in finals, I'm sure.
And then
Switch double Michael Chug.
One of the hardest tricks in the half
So
pipe.
hard.
Does it with ease. Yeah, looking forward to seeing what Chase Josie's going to throw in finals this Saturday.
Yeah, Chase is one of those dudes who can just go every hit some sort of double cork or double flip. So,
And then
he's
on
gonna
his
make that
last
call.
run, Ayumu was in 6th place, drops in his last run.
He's a cyborg.
Look at the size of this sideboard Indy, 20 feet out. Incredible final run to close out the semifinals. He will be dropping in last with a competitive advantage this Saturday for the finals. I can tell you right now, it is going to be an insane finals. Look at this, front double 12, perfect.
That was absolutely ridiculous. Frontside double cork 12. Let's break this down a little further. So starting things off with a 20+ foot backside air grab an Indy.
See how
Setting
hard he
himself
popped
up.
too?
Yeah,
He had to
it's-
pop so hard in order to make it back into the half pipe going that big.
And then there's the frontside double cork 1080 grabbing truck driver. Both hands, both edges there. He's coming into his 3rd hit switch. So back-to-back double corks, frontside to cab 1080 double cork. And Ayumu, Danny, you said it, his legs don't move. He doesn't speed check, he doesn't,
Edge to edge, he's an
yeah,
incredible
he just
snowboarder.
locks in that edge.
It's
and
like
keeps all of his speed.
The tricks in the air are definitely something fantastic to watch, but if you're a real snowboarder, you realize that he's a great rider.
Great
So
rider.
there, right there. Ayumu Hirano, your first place qualifier. We have a new special guest in the studio here, sitting to my right, Ivy Miller. Ivy, how are you?
I'm great, guys. I thought on International Women's Day I would intrude on your sausage fest.
Hey, very good timing, very good timing. For those of you who do not know who Ivy Miller is, she's Scotty James' better half, incredible personality. Scotty's actually still a little bummed and jealous because she's got more followers than Scotty on Instagram. And now I understand you're at the top of the course, you're kind of getting in there, trying to learn a little bit more about who these athletes are, have some fun on Red Bull TV, Facebook Live. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing.
So Jack, I'm gonna be up there. Have you ever wondered, like, what's in the backpack, or what's
Yeah.
Chloe listening to before she's dropping?
Kinda, yeah.
I'm gonna be covering all that information, all the juicy gossip. We're gonna be doing trivia. We're gonna be getting
I
into
like
it. Maybe
it.
some dancing, maybe some singing. You never know.
I
love
need
it.
to know what's in Fridge's backpack.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
afraid to have you ask.
Can you do that for us? We
Yeah, like,
asked him. He
You
wouldn't
know,
tell.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna bat my eyes and see what I can do, but I
Cool.
can't promise you anything.
Okay. All right. I'll take that. I'll take that.
I'm so excited for tomorrow as well. It's going to be slopestyle all day long. We've got the men's in the afternoon, starting it off with the women's. Let's get a little preview of what to expect from tomorrow.
Yes, semifinals for the men and the women went off. It was absolutely insane. On the women's side, one of the most insane semifinals I've ever seen. It could have been a final, right? So I can't even imagine what's in store for tomorrow. You're going to see that girl right there, Anna Gasser.
There it is, 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
Have you ever done this before? Is this new to you? Do you know a lot of these athletes? Or you should kind of go in rogue up there?
So yeah, pretty much going rogue, but I've been
Good.
hanging around the athletes. Like I don't know. I know you guys pretty well, so I'm just kind of doing it. I'm used to being kind of in awkward or great high attention situations, so I'm
love
just
it.
gonna.
And
Own it.
you've been doing some studying as well. You were telling me yesterday that not only did you study the riders that were in the competition, but pretty much every snowboarder out there.
Yeah, well, they didn't really specify which ones, so I was like, might as well cover them all, right? Better safe than sorry.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get information that's not necessarily based strictly on their snowboarding, because
More
that's you
personality.
guys. I'm doing the stuff that you don't really know, maybe so-and-so's into photography, so-and-so likes dolphins or something. I want the
Capri
weird
Suns.
stuff.
Yeah.
I want
That's
to
me.
find
I
out the
love
stuff you don't
Yeah,
know.
Dave,
That
that's
was my
Dan.
info sheet.
That was Danny's, so I
Yeah.
found that out, but sorry to let it.
All right, well, I cannot wait to see what is to come from your Facebook Live hits. I'm really excited. That's going to be
Thanks, Jack.
entertaining. I'm excited for the rest of the weekend. Finals underway this weekend. Thank you so much, Danny, for joining us.
Yeah,
No
Dan.
problem.
Thank
No
you,
problem.
Tom. Thank you, Ivy.
Killed it, Dan.
More to come for the rest of the weekend, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. Can't wait to see you then. Burton US Open, that's a wrap. We'll see you tomorrow.